This is the cheapest Porsche 911 in the world.
It doesn't start or drive.
The paint is awful.
And it's been on fire.
So obviously we bought it.
What could possibly go wrong?
Why the hell are we buying a car from a scrapyard?
Firstly, it's not a scrapyard, it's an auto recycling centre. And secondly, because of that white thing up there.
The white 911 up there?
Yeah.
What have you done? Oh my God.
Rob from Silver Lake said that we could have a closer look at the 911 in their nicely lit Spin-It Bay. So while they moved the car inside, we got a chance to sift through the 5,000 cars they have in their facility. But not before we'd gotten distracted.
Oh, cool. M54s, cool. Should we get one of these for Rory for his E28?
Or for his 330, or for anything. Either of them, really.
Yeah, anything, really. That's an M3. It's a proper M3. Oh.
As a proper M3, you can tell by the arch rust.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
Is that an Aston?
Oh, it is a DB11. Wow, cool. Oh no.
With that, it was time to have a proper look at this sad-looking Porsche. Right, you told me we were buying a car today.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be a Porsche 911.
Porsche 911. A coupe, what's more, manual. Look, a manual gearbox, right?
It is manual. I'm just looking through the misty window. What's that?
Oh, nice wheels as well. And white, factory white.
Someone has left their heated seat on.
It's had a very good heated seat in there. This car's been on fire, but it's of course 911.
It is true. It's white?
It's white.
Originally white?
It's got the red interior, it's got the aero pack.
I don't remember these coming in a matte white.
Yeah, it was silver at some point in its life. It is now white though, with racing stripe as well.
Okay, right. Does it run?
I like the black roof. The black roof is nice.
Is it rear-wheel drive?
Yes.
Okay, bonus points. But you don't know if it runs?
No.
Okay.
Also, aero pack. This is a rare option on early 996. This is the other thing. It's a 3.4, which means it has a cable throttle. Kind of nice for simplicity, means we can't do much to the engine.
It's not ripening my berries,
Okay.
apparently, but I think it's got potential.
Let's maybe look at the other side first before you make a decision.
Okay.
Also, I don't know what's gone on here. I think maybe tint on the lights. Someone's put tinted on them.
Yeah, that's not,
That'll clean up. That'll
That's
be fine,
just
right?
falling off. Yeah. That does need to go.
That needs to go.
That does need to go.
That needs to go quite quickly.
It's had a great PPF
It's
job.
really good PPF.
So if I take it off?
It's just extra secure. It's like unboxing your new 911.
Yeah. Except,
It's new.
yeah, except it's sadder. Wow. Someone's replaced the seat with some caramel.
Oh no. You know the whole thing that it won't start?
Yep.
Yeah, the Loom's here.
It's not. It's not there anymore.
Sorry,
Yeah.
the Loom was
The Loom
there.
was there.
The Loom is deleted, which is likely the reason it won't start. That's fine, then we don't need to buy a new one of those now. The seat, that's savable.
Maybe it's like a sort of race seat, just the frame.
Yeah, exactly. Look, this was the original Wysack package.
That's a great bit of burning.
I've seen something. What colour is the inside of that door? Silver.
It's got a Le Mans sticker on the other side as well.
Does it?
It does.
Where? Also, you could probably see that sticker a bit more if there wasn't the haze from the smoke inside that's now covered the window. But we're going to get this thing going.
We might.
We could do.
We could do. The red's a bit striking. Also, sorry, red on cream carpet with full drumstick inside, Stormtrooper on the outside.
We've got a lot of colours going on this thing. But imagine, right? Maybe some red wheels, maybe some inspired red wheels, maybe some GT3 kind of wheels, some nice seats, a nice steering wheel in red.
Okay.
Yeah, now we're on board.
We need a seat. We need a seat, so we might as well buy some two
might as
seats.
well.
Yeah. You need two seats.
Will's not a Porsche man, but we'll win him over.
Bonnet or the boot? Wait, that's the same
Which
thing.
one would you like to start with?
Let's have a look in the front.
Okay.
That might be better.
That's you. Are you not feeling this a bit? Are you not a little bit?
I've got an image in my head, I have to admit.
Does it have flames all over it?
Yes.
There we go.
Wow. You said red wheels.
Oh,
Wow.
cool. There's no silver here. I think it's a mistake on the government website. I think this is originally white.
I'm going to forget I saw that.
Yeah, it might have been silver. The piece of resistance, the engine. The smallest engine you can get in a 996, 3.4, the worst one. And also the IMS issues. Is that the heaviest thing in the world?
Is that made of lead?
What the hell? Look, a fly's just flown out of it.
He's just been released.
He's been released.
I've been here for years.
You know, on the 996 GT3 RS, you can have it white with red, white with green, white with blue. We've already got the colourway going.
Yeah.
There we go. We've got oil.
That's got oil. I'd say that's the perfect amount of oil, aka some.
Good colour as well. What you can see in here is how hard this is to work on.
Everything's up there.
Yeah, sorry mate, can you just grab that from the back of the engine? Yeah mate, sorry.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, sorry. Let me just
Dive in.
minimise.
We can put a battery on it and see if it turns over.
Yep.
Yeah,
We can
let's do
try.
that.
We can try lots of things.
Oh, I heard it. Hold on.
Here we go.
Most important thing, the previous owner's listening habits. The very best of Freddie Jackson.
Ooh.
Don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Ooh, a custom burned CD.
That's gonna have some good.
That's going to have some bangers on it. We're going to put that in slot number 1. Michael Bolton, Time, Love and Tenderness. Might have to keep that one in there.
So that's what he was listening to. The old owner on his way to Le Mans.
Yeah, on his way to Le
With the
Mans
love songs going on.
while the car's on fire. This gives me a good owner vibe. You know, this is someone that cared about this car.
Hello.
We've got a couple of lights in the
Lights
back.
on the dash. I can't see the speedo because it's burnt. I'm getting some crackling from the speakers.
I think I just had the fans kick on as well. Fans are on.
This is a fan car. Gordon Murray, eat your bloody heart out.
Look, couple fuses. Don't worry about that. Couple fuses. You know, new passenger seat. Done. I think I like this. I think it's good.
No. It doesn't start. It doesn't crank. Only the fan comes on. We can't buy this.
The fan works.
We cannot buy this.
Yeah, issue with that. I've bought it already.
How much have you bought it for?
Would you be angry if I told you £5,000?
I would be angry if you said £50.
Okay, well, still, everyone watching knows £5,000 for a 996 manual coupe with aero kit.
While Silver Lake loaded our mint 996 onto the trailer, we headed into the pick and pull area to see if they had any parts for our cars.
Will,
Wow!
that is a Mark II Clio 182 in Will's colour.
I need a bonnet.
You need a bonnet.
I
There's
do
a
need a
bonnet.
bonnet.
Oh, it's got a bit of a dent though. That's the same dent as yours, right?
It's not as bad as my dent though. I need a bonnet and it's impossible to find one in this colour. Show me that.
Will,
No.
it's a sat-nav car. I cannot stress to you how rare a 182 with sat-nav is. And Will's other 182, his blue one, has sat-nav.
But it doesn't work. That is a knob
From a sat-nav,
from the sat-nav and mine's missing it. And the chances of me ever finding one of these again is
zero.
minuscule.
Zero.
I'm feeling the Porsche a bit more now.
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
feeling like
no,
it was
yeah.
sort of meant
came
to
from
be.
a good place.
Yeah.
Came for a Porsche, left with a bonnet.
Lovely.
And a Porsche.
I was so pleased.
Excited by my new bonnet and little knob, I paid,
A bonnet and a very small knob.
loaded up my bonnet, and then we hit the road, happy with our new project car.
That's our 911 right there. We own that.
I wasn't sure at first, but seeing it on the back of a lorry, it's a bit worrying, but I'm coming round.
So you started skeptical, now you're on board?
Yeah, I think slowly. I mean, we haven't seen it properly yet,
Yeah.
so there's room for movement. But
See, I'm the opposite. I started fully on board with it, and I'm petrified now.
now
I'm
we've committed.
I'm really scared.
Yeah.
Why am I sat into the dashboard of your Clio?
Oh, because of the bonnet.
We need a crew car, please. As great as Lewis is, he will, at the drop of a hat, come and help us. Massive shout out to Lewis. We need to be able to move our own cars around. And one last thing, subscribe to this channel, please. Look what we've done to ourselves.
Yeah.
You're going to want to see our glorious fall into demise.
If that is not worth a cheeky little sub, I don't know what is.
Our Subway employees be like.
Now back at the unit, we unloaded the 911 and decided we should see what Alex, Taylor and Rory thought of our very first project car.
Hello.
Oh my god. Does the oil on the outside come as extra? Or?
Don't worry about that.
How much?
Oh, nice boot.
How much? How much?
£5,000.
£5,000.
And there's nothing else wrong with it.
It looks like a kit car.
It
does.
It might be a kit
Is it
car.
an MR2?
Do you want to get in?
Yeah.
There you go.
Should I have a seat?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. It's already had a weight reduction class in the form of fire.
Oh. Look at this.
£5,000. Do I have to say it again?
£5,000
It doesn't run, Edwin.
Doesn't matter. How much do you pay for that 993?
Yes.
Exactly. We're in.
It's not on fire.
Listen, this one isn't currently on fire. It's just a little clean-up project. It'll be fine.
But you know the engine works.
This is the Chariot du Bourg score, isn't it?
Maybe a bit of ball scoring, maybe a bit of IMS.
Okay.
However, the rear wiper is in fantastic
in lovely
condition.
condition.
That
Why
is nice.
is there loads of scratches all over the window, like someone's keyed the window?
It's been vandalised.
Well, no shit.
No, but not only that, they've slashed the seats. they've slashed the dashboard.
Oh, why would they do that? That's literally the only bit that is nice.
Yeah.
To be fair, they've probably done you a favour because that interior is horrible. Who has grey carpets and red seats, red dash, red gear knob, red steering wheel, red everything?
I quite like it.
Yeah, but we all know that you've got rubbish taste, and you were born in the 50s.
No,
I am
quite
old.
like
This is very 50s. This is very your
It
generation.
does remind me of when I was courting. So what's the plan with this, guys?
We want to make it as quick as a 992. That seems easy, no?
That's easy.
I'll do you a wager.
Okay.
I reckon that no matter how much you spend on this car, it will never be faster on track than Phil.
I'll take that bet.
Oh, it's easy peasy. I mean, for that you'd have to drive Phil, so... I mean,
I had immediate buyer's remorse.
Did you really?
Absolutely. The moment it went on the trailer, I was like, oh shit.
Fantastic.
But now I'm on board again.
I'm more hopeful about it.
Okay.
The more I look at it, the more I think this is little Hoover, bit of wiring.
And then we'll be ready to start.
To be fair, I think if you clean it and get all of that out, it'll actually look like a half decent car.
Exactly. Can we put it up on the lift, please?
No, sorry, it's broken.
But we'll just leave it here.
Right. Yeah, no, it's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair, fine. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh shit.
Today we're finding out how wrecked it is.
So we've brought it to Porsche specialist Renw Works, and they're going to tell us if we got a good deal or not. We are at Renw Works. Matt, would you like to tell us a little about what you guys do here?
We are a Porsche and McLaren specialist. Been doing it a long time, about 30 years, repairing these cars. But I think this one may be a challenge for us.
Uh-oh.
Let's give it a check over and
Let's
see
have
what
a
it's
look.
all about, shall we?
We thought we'd kick off by showing Matt our medium rare interior in the hope that he'd tell us it would all be an easy fix.
That's pretty unbelievable. What happened?
So we think someone's vandalised it. There's a
Yep.
cut on the dash, on the seats, and obviously a fire inside.
But then also, we looked in the CD changer and there was some love romance CDs.
Oh, wow.
So I'm thinking, he's also been to Le Mans, he took a mistress abroad. Wife found out.
Someone's very upset and it's a revenge attack. I mean, initially I sort of maybe looked at the door and thought, I wonder if something started there, but I mean, I've never seen it. I mean, there's no electrics here, the motor's further forward. I mean, this is obviously that's the main area, isn't it? There is a wiring harness. So that's coming all the way up from the front of the car. I mean, look, you can see you've got a cluster of, there must be 100 wires in this loom. So I mean, you're not going
It's
to...
just like an afternoon of wiring.
You're not going to cut and solder them.
No?
Looking at this.
Let's see about that.
Does that run to the ECU or into the
Yeah,
engine?
so that's going to
compartment?
be, you've got your ECUs behind the seat,
Right.
at the back. So you've got control units. Then from the ECU, you've got all your wiring harness that runs up to the engine. So basically, this is all the wiring for the back end of the car.
Everything.
It's going to the ECU. You've got your lights. You've got everything up the back.
So off the bat,
Yeah.
first part we need is a full main loom.
Yeah. Have you tried to crank
We
the
tried
engine, but
cranking
nothing?
it, nothing.
Nothing.
You
Just-
were in the
just
car.
fans.
Just fans, and there's a
fans.
little
Yeah.
crackle of something, right?
Yeah, the speakers crackle and the
Okay.
fans come on.
I mean, you can feel the heat that's been generated in here. Even if you touch the sort of face
it-
of the
is it
dials,
warped?
and they're all warped.
Oh god. So essentially, we need a full new interior for this to be nice.
Yeah.
To be fair, this side is already partially stripped by the fire, so we've got a good idea of what goes on this side of it. So initial impressions, what do you think?
I mean, look, it's actually a really nice looking car.
And with an aero pack, right?
Aero kit. So, I mean, this was a really good looking car before, obviously, this happened. But it still does look good.
Most modern cars have an electric throttle pedal, but our very early 996 has a physical throttle cable. So we asked Matt if it would have any limitations.
It does stop you from doing certain aspects of tuning because
Okay.
you've got sort of throttle body upgrades and things like that that you can't really do with the cable throttle. However, for the purists, the cable throttle car is the one to go for.
So this is worth more.
I mean, yeah, the really early ones, it could potentially be. It could be.
So we've made
It
money
could be.
already, which brings us on to a good point.
Yeah.
What would you pay for this car?
You've got a real spend to get it back on the road, but still, look, in its component parts, you've got good wheels, there's good body panels, £5 grand.
Very good.
Yeah.
We paid £5 grand for a car.
There you go, that's it.
Matt, absolutely over the moon with our purchase, we headed around the back to take a look in the engine bay.
Definitely silver. So they've painted sort of into the shuts, haven't they? Obviously the engine didn't come out to have the paintwork. But no, look, so it's an early cable throttle car, definitely. There's your throttle body.
So with it being a cable throttle, does that maybe make the Loom harder to come by?
I'd need to double check part numbers, but I'm pretty certain that you'd find that you'd have a wiring loom sort of up to 99 and a different wiring loom from 99 on, because there are differences in the car. So that main harness probably would change.
So we need an early car Loom. Uh-oh. Do you have a rough idea of what it would cost from Porsche for a Loom?
Do you know what? It's not something I've never had to fit a new loom, so it's, yeah.
And you've been doing this 30 years?
I've been doing it for 30 years, yeah.
Oh no.
Our £5,000 911 was looking not so bad, but we know that these 996s can suffer with a couple of nasty engine issues. Bore scoring, where the engine eats the walls of its cylinders, and IMS bearing failure. The IMS issue is the most common. The intermediate shaft is meant to improve timing chain life, but a badly designed ball bearing on one side means that they fail catastrophically.
I mean, bore score with a 3.4 is almost, it just doesn't really happen. It's usually 3.6.
Okay, we're looking up.
IMS, this will be a dual row car because it's an early one. However, I've seen probably an even failure rate with single row and dual row, because one of the rows in the dual row bearing starts to fail. It just spews all of its muck and all of its debris into the other row of the bearings. But again, it's not massively common.
It might have been done, we have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, you won't know unless you've got some sort of evidence of service history, which I'm not sure if you have.
No. If we were to do it, never having done it before, how many hours?
A couple of days you should be getting it done. Maybe a week, I don't know.
It's going up. Maybe a year.
Pencil in a month, it'll be fine. Maybe he set fire to it because he didn't want to do the IMS.
That's it.
He was like, I've found out how long it's going to take. I'm just going to set fire to it.
Or maybe the IMS, maybe it failed, and that was, I've taken the cap off the coolant reservoir. Okay. Look, it's got lovely pink, clean coolant, which is lovely because that 3.4s can crack cylinder heads.
Okay.
It's not particularly common, and then you get the oil and water mixes, and you end up with like milkshake. And even if it's been repaired previously, sometimes you can end up with some remnants on the cap, and that's clean.
Ah, interesting.
So
okay.
That's good.
Good sign.
Yeah. Have you dipped the oil?
It has some.
And the texture is like some.
Yep.
It was more golden before.
That's pretty good.
Still good.
Smith. Yeah, it doesn't smell too bad.
What vintage?
That's it. Well, I think it's Mobile.
Oh,
yeah, could be.
Perhaps a 2020.
Who knows? But no, that's actually they're two really good signs.
Okay, that's good.
You've got clean oil, and the coolant is looking good.
It's going to make it even more disappointing when we try and start it and the IMS has exploded.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't. No, that owner wouldn't do that.
No,
he's not that guy.
Yeah,
not
he's
with the
love
songs.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
So our engine was sounding sort of promising, but we were yet to find out if the engine was seized or not. But before we got to that, we checked out the suspension.
Oh, well, straight away spotted something really nice. So we've got brand new front springs.
Lovely.
New top mounts, and it looks like it's probably got new dampers as well. So that's really good.
So if we were to switch to coilovers, do you reckon we could sell those for
100%? 100%. They look almost unused, don't they? Look.
So we'll sell them to you for $5,000.
There you go.
Yeah. Deal. Sold.
Yeah.
Phil, we're coming for you.
It turns out that our guess wasn't that far off. We had a look online and found that even using non-genuine parts, a new set of dampers came to over £3,000.
Brakes are going to need to be sorted. They're too far gone. They're really rusty, but the caliper's looking decent nick.
This was someone's pride and joy. Like, they put time and money into this. It's not a car that they left sitting around.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's sad. Is it identical to a GT3 kit?
Yeah, Mark 1 GT3 bumpers and spoiler and side skirts.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah. You'd often find that you get aero kit and you'd sometimes get a limited slip diff and a few other little trick bits with the aero kit cars.
That'd be handy.
That'd be nice to see. We'll be able to see all of that when we have a little look at the spec. So
that's a silver bumper under there.
That is a silver bumper under there. Good spot, Will.
Again, there's no real evidence of any corrosion to the rear quarters, or so. It looks like a good solid car.
What's happened? Yeah. We've potentially bought a good car.
Ignoring some of the major issues, everything else is.
But like some of the issues that we knew about, I knew about going in, everything else, usually I roll the dice and it comes out bad. It lands on snake eyes and I go to jail. But this time, kind of looks good.
Genuinely shocked that Edwin might have bought a good car, it was time to get the 911 in the air and have a look underneath.
It's got a worn out limited slip.
So hold on, we have an LSD?
Well...
Maybe we have an LSD.
The limited slip diff is something we didn't expect this car to have. It'll be so useful for putting power down to the ground, and it'll give us an advantage on the track. And also, it's quite useful for skids.
It's had lower arms. They're either genuine or they're as good as. So someone spent some money on this.
I don't know how this has happened.
Also, still got all of its under trays.
Yeah, all the bolts seem to be still in and everything.
All of its clips. Nothing's been grounded out or broken or snapped. A little bit of surface corrosion.
I wonder if that's where it might have been picked up on the forklift.
Yeah, maybe. But look, it's nothing major whatsoever. No. It's had some brake pipes changed. Maybe not to the best standard. They're a bit wibbly wobbly. They're not, we could make a neater job of those.
And as far as you can see, no fire damage that looks like it's transferred through underneath.
Not really. Maybe Look, I think we've had a little bit of heat going on here, possibly. I think you've been quite lucky there. All the floor pan looks good.
Almost feels bad at this point. Before it was like, we can do whatever we want to this car. It's only going up from here, but this car's actually quite nice.
Someone's actually look
A
after
little
it.
bit scabby at the back. These little diagonal cross braces, again, they're quite cheap and easy to replace because they look worse than what they are, so they could do with being replaced. It's had some arms, definitely had dampers. But we had rear toe arms as well. They look a bit powdery and a bit rough. Look, the bushes are like brand new. This is all very, very recent. Just before it had its fire, they were done. Looks like it's had a new clutch line up there. That all looks nice and shiny and new. Obviously the gearbox is dry. You've got no sort of leaks from the box. It's had some exhaust silencers. They're an aftermarket product. In fact, I know the brand. They're not my preferred brand. They do suffer, these particular ones, with the flexi joints cracking.
Right.
And also the boxes distort.
Are they aftermarket as in louder?
They will be louder.
That was kind of down the line, but we would like an exhaust on this at some point.
It's had the manifolds off at some point because we often find that all these manifold bolts are really heavily seized and they're a real pain to get them off. When they often snap. So whether it's had some engine work maybe.
Perhaps there's a 4 litre?
Perhaps a little IMS.
But they look pretty fresh. You can tell it's an early car because it's got an early style sump. So they're slightly different, they're slightly flatter. So as the car's got newer, they sort of reinforce the sumps with some extra webbing around the edges. But no, all in all, it's not looking too awful. If it hadn't obviously been fire damaged and it was a running car and it came in for a service, we wouldn't be ripping it to pieces. You can tell that it's been sitting for a few years.
To reiterate, £5,000.
All it needs is a bit of wiring.
All it needs is the whole interior moving.
But this is looking good.
But at least we're qualified for doing that.
I have done lots of that.
I've maybe held soldering iron before.
I've done up to no looms.
So perfect.
Oh, you've got your work cut out, honestly.
Oh, God.
You really have.
Oh no.
So I think let's get a ratchet on the crankshaft and
See if it turns.
we'll see if it turns, yeah, definitely.
This is actually looking quite good. I'm feeling a bit more hopeful about this.
I'm excited.
Problem is I've now got like mods in my head.
I've pictured this car in 1,000 different ways.
The wiring looms, secondary.
I could do wheels and coils to this tomorrow and then be like, yeah, it doesn't start there.
Yeah, this is Flintstone's car.
But the easiest way to access the crank is to just pull the airbox out.
off.
Yeah.
Okay, that pops off. That pops off. Oh, good thing we've got it on film. I was trying to learn it, forgetting that Ben's literally filming this right now.
Well, we're filming this whole thing.
Yeah, what?
That's wild.
Who's this guy?
Who the hell?
That is easy.
That's it. That's as easy as that.
That's completely changed my perception of this engine now.
There you go.
It's not that cramped. I mean, it's cramped, but, you know, compared to before.
It's pretty stiff, but
Yeah, look at it.
Here we go.
yep, it's got good.
I was going to say, maybe it's got
Good
the
compression.
best compression in the world.
There you go. So look, the engine turns. I'm really confident that there's going to be no issues with that engine running. The oil looks good, the coolant looks good, and it turns over. So
Do we just take a punt and go without doing the IMS because we think it might have been done? Because then that means we can start modifying it sooner. Exactly. I like that.
I mean, I would just focus on getting the wiring sorted,
Well,
and just getting it running.
Yeah.
And then at that point, once you know it runs and it all sounds happy, then you can start modifying and tuning and pulling gearboxes out and looking at IMSs.
I think we've stumbled on a little bargain.
Oh, hell yes.
I mean, look, you've definitely got your work.
Yeah, well, you
But
know,
look, it'll be a fun project.
One last question.
Yeah.
Who do you think got better value for money? Us or Alex on his 993?
Oh wow, I don't want to upset anyone here.
You're allowed to upset everyone.
I mean, look, $5,000.
So you're saying we got a better deal?
I'm not saying anything.
That's fine. I'll go home happy.
There you go.
While Matt went to have a look at the cost of a new wiring loom, we had a look at the official spec sheet of our car, which details every single optional extra, which the guys at Renw Works had kindly found for us.
Spec sheet, you have it.
The spec sheet.
Let's see. Exterior colour, X1. Right, well, hopefully that means white, but I don't think so.
Of course it does. Automatic limited slip differential.
Oh, that's sick.
Ooh.
On the build sheet.
Locking differential 40%.
So good.
All right, next page.
What else we got? Fog lights white. Maybe they mean the whole car.
18-inch Sport Classic wheel, so that's the original wheel.
That's correct.
So they're the original
Yeah,
ones.
those are the original wheels.
Exterior colour.
That's not the colour that this car is.
Silver. You know, sometimes manufacturers say silver, but like
They mean white. Yeah. Or I think it's also the light. You guys can't really see it, but when you look at it, it's, you know, it's...
It's a deep metallic silver.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
But the diff is cool.
The diff is
The
very
diff
cool.
is cool. This is useful.
Shall we go in and see what Matt has totaled up for our cost? Because that's the biggest issue so far.
Yeah, I don't want to, but let's.
This is all the details of your car. So these are the part of the wiring of the car. So this one, number one, if we double click that, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It is a bit of a shocker. And that's plus VAT as well.
That's more than we paid for.
So that's £6,294 for 55p plus the VAT. You're probably going to be better off to try and find a used loom.
Yeah.
Either a complete loom or a section, because you know at the end of the day they're only wires. You can if there's 100 wires in there, they can all be cut and soldered professionally and
I like
properly.
that. I like that way of thinking. At the end of the day, they're only wires.
That's better than that. When the parts start costing more than the car,
that's an issue.
Maybe it comes with a car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Maybe it comes with a 996.
It's just a used 996.
Yeah, it's actually like 300 quid.
That's what when you ring up and ask the partner, but they go, yeah, it's about 6 to 8 grand. You go, okay, when I can pick it up? And they're like, just go on Auto Trader, mate.
Yeah,
there are loads of them. You can just pick one up. I started off low, we went high, but I'm maintaining a good amount. Like this is put a dent in it, but I'm happy.
There's possibilities. There's alternatives to that. It's just a big job, and we need to get stuck into it now, basically.
Either way, thank you very much for having a look through it.
No problem.
If you guys have anything Porsche, anything McLaren, come to Matt, come to Renw Works. He will help you out as he has helped us.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem at all.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah,
Cheers,
good.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
Right, let's get this thing loaded up.
Firstly, we needed to remove the interior so we could assess the damage to our wiring, and that required some special tools.
We need a knife.
Maybe a chisel.
A chisel.
A hammer and a chisel.
A hammer and a chisel would be good. We can sculpt the interior. Ooh, Rory. I'm excited.
Whoa, hang on. Safety first.
Sorry, thank you very much.
That should keep you safe.
Now I'm qualified to use these. Hello, seat. And if you'd like to buy this immaculate, this immaculate seat. This is a very rare spec from Porsche. It's the black to red graduation. £1,000.
To access the wiring, we'd need to remove the passenger seat, but the bolts that held it in were covered in crap because the fire had melted everything around it.
You see that bolt? That's what I'm trying to get.
Out of interest, Will, what's your plan?
I'm going to smash it with this chisel and hammer. Oh, is that the camera?
Oh, big bit. It's like when you spilt cereal on the floor.
What cereal do you eat?
Oh my God.
There we go.
Right. Apologies for the arse crack. What a lovely thing.
Now that we'd freed the demolished passenger seat, we could finally get access to the wiring loom.
Oh, there we go. I bet you under here it's going to be just fine. Well, you know.
Right, so you might notice these wires, this loom here, goes all the way down there, and it actually goes behind these seats. So behind these seats is some ECUs and some modules, and they are quite important. We are hoping that the damage here hasn't extended and frazzled anything back there, because then that's when things get more expensive, more complicated. So basically we need to get all of this out and see if it's all right. So how do we do that?
If we just want to see what's under here, we could just cut across there.
You can't angle grind carpet.
You know what it's like? It's like cutting hair.
If my barber got an angle grinder out, I would leave.
Oh, tell me that wasn't expertly done. Tell me that wasn't incredibly good.
That wasn't expertly done.
Look at that intact loom.
Just before we could properly look at the damage, I left Edwin alone for a minute, and he'd already started cleaning.
Right, I don't care what that is, it's coming out.
Now that Edwin had stopped someone's Tesla from charging so he could clean, I decided I should give my expert opinion on the condition of the 996's ECUs.
In my opinion, that looks fine.
Here's what we do. Let's pop this out and look at how many wires we've got. There we go. One big one, which might have some smaller ones in it. I think it does have smaller ones in it. 1, 2, big one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You know when you get a glow stick? Right, Will, you take that one. We'll meet in the middle.
1, 2.
No, don't count out loud.
3, 4, 5.
Okay, I've got 15 apart from what's in this big one. Don't know how much is in the big one. Could we wire 50 wires?
I can't wire one wire. Here are our actual options, right?
Okay.
1,
Yeah.
we buy a loom from Porsche for 7 grand.
7 grand.
2, we buy a used loom for like £300-400
Okay.
and we have to take the whole dash out. 3, we get someone to fix it.
But why get someone to fix it when we could be the someone?
Sometimes you have to delegate to specialists.
That's true, but we're specialists.
We're special-ish.
That might need to be some merch. Also, make sure you subscribe to TDC. We're going to do something with this car. Don't know what yet, but something.
Our wiring harness didn't look good, but Edwin did find one bit of good news.
So that's the thing that Matt was saying we're going to need another one of. Looked online, I think it was a couple £100 to buy. They would also need coding and work with the car. For now, don't want to speak too soon, but this looks like it's okay. And the wiring just plugs into it. So another loom will just plug in.
Next up, it was time to remove the dashboard, but not before Edwin had cleaned all the interior windows. We wanted to have a look at how easy it is to replace a full wiring loom, but we'd also eventually like to replace our vandalised dash with something a little nicer.
Bro loves this song. Sneak up on it.
You saw me coming.
Very good.
We've been at this for a little while now, but we've got every single bolt out. We have one more bolt to go, which is that one. And then we are ready to get this goddamn dash out.
Oh, a full dashboard. I feel like a hunter afterwards with my trophy. That took a long time.
That did take a long time.
I think I said to Will, we've just got a few more bolts about 6 hours ago. The time right now is 9:30. Look at that car. What have we done, Will? We've got no idea what we're doing. If you just have a go, usually you'll find your way through it. It's good fun actually as well.
After finally getting the dashboard out, we realised that replacing the entire loom would be a huge headache. So we needed to do some research and come back another day to search for some alternative ways to get our 911 running.
Right, so we are as far as we can physically go on the car right now because we need parts to do anything more. You might be wondering why we pulled out the dashboard. We want black carpet, black dash, but you'll see more of that in the next episode. For now, we need to find ourselves a loom because that's what's stopping this car from ever starting. We're not paying £6,200 plus VAT for an engine loom.
We need to find a part number, search eBay, search Facebook, search everywhere.
We discovered that our 911 has a similar front end and an almost identical interior to a Boxster of the same generation, and potentially the Boxster parts could be cheaper.
Boxster, part number 986-612-90300.
986 is the Boxster's chassis code, just like 996 is the 911's chassis code, and they're quite closely related.
So for our 911, it's 996-612-90300.
Right.
So the end of that part number is the same.
We couldn't find any solid info on the Boxster parts, but Edwin found a potential solution.
So right here is a 996 braking. Now, braking car is someone that is taking a car that is either mostly whole or fully whole and is breaking out for parts, selling each part off individually. And he has got a 996 3.4 early car. So I'm pretty sure that's a cable car like ours. Everything is the same, apart from the fact that this is an auto. So I'm gonna give him a call and see if he will either sell us the whole loom or chop out a part of his loom, because we don't need the whole loom. It would be much easier to cut and repair that section. Shall I give him a call?
Give him a call. Make him an offer he can't refuse.
The guy had a selection of loom available, and he was only 15 minutes down the road. Before heading down there, we chopped out our broken section to take with us.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm quite scared now. I was confident. But look, it's done now. It's done. And there it is. Well, sorry, if you could. Thanks so much. Right, let's go. Let's go to this guy's.
Steve from SW Racecar Hire is a specialist in both 996 911s and 986 Boxsters, so he knows his stuff. He took us down to the car he was braking and chopped out a piece of the loom for us to buy.
A huge thank you to Steve for selling us a piece of loom and some other bits that you'll see in the next episode. We were over the moon with the saving we'd made compared to buying new.
£50, not 6 grand, £50.
What a deal. We don't yet know if these match. So now starts the tedious process of matching wire to wire.
This is difficult.
Have you got any twos?
Go fish.
Right, it's been at least 1,000 years since we started doing this. We are pleased to announce that on this side, we have exactly the same amount of wires. We have 50 wires on each side, except one of them is a different colour. My side, my old side, is yellow with a purple trace. And on Will's side, it's just brown.
One of the other things we've noticed is that we've got a lot of duplicates, and that means we need to trace each wire back on both sides to make sure they match up.
Yeah.
We'll have a go at anything, but
I don't want this car to burn to the ground again.
yeah.
So we're leaning towards getting help with this loom and wiring it in, because there's no way that we know this blue wire and this identical blue wire here, which way they're supposed to go. And our wiring skills are, I'd say, subpar. Yeah. So we're gonna get help, and it's gonna cost us, but we've got an idea.
So normally 996 wheels sell for 200-300 quid on eBay, but this one is a full leather stitch, including the airbag. And we had a look, some of these sell for 500, 600, maybe 700 pounds.
It's so rare that even one of you guys in the comments on our first video noticed this wheel. So we reckon we can sell some of our old parts that we're not gonna use. We don't want the red dash, we don't want the red steering wheel, we want a more racy steering wheel.
So whatever the wiring is gonna cost us to fix, we're hoping we're gonna make that all back.
We were a little disappointed that we weren't going to get a chance to fix the loom ourselves, however we knew it would be for the best. So Will got on the phone to as many auto electricians as possible and realised that they too felt similarly about the job.
So it turns out literally no one will do this job. I'm really, really struggling to find an auto electrician who will have a go at this wiring. So I'm just gonna have to keep ringing around and see if someone will do it.
But then, after countless phone calls,
Cheers, bye. I think we have an electrician.
We might be getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here, but we're going to give the 911 a service before we go for the first start out. We don't know how long the fuel, the oil, how long the belts have been sitting. It's smart to just change them now. So thankfully, Fevi Bilstein have sent us a care package of OE matching quality parts for the 996. We've got the oil filter, the cabin filter, the drain plug, fuel filters, an aux belt, idler pulleys for the aux belt, tensioners, air filters, and a full oil change for the car. Proper OE match quality parts. Make sure you always choose Febi Bilstein whenever you're getting parts, wherever you get your parts from.
Parts load secured, we got to work draining the oil, which instantly went well.
I need to get a grip up there.
Will,
I'm going the wrong way.
What are you doing, mate? Look at your...
I'll go for dinner after this. Looking like an absolute weapon.
Oh my God.
Do you by any chance need a fishing rod?
It might help, it might not. Oh, that's huge. That's big. Oh God, you can't use that noise. That's flagged for inappropriate behaviour instantly.
Would you say it's quite oily?
The design is very human.
Edwin then broke the old oil filter open, inspecting the material to see if there were any signs that our engine had damage.
This is what strains the oil. The oil goes through this paper filter, it catches anything bad. No metal in the oil, no metal in the oil filter. Good start. It's like the best fortune cookie.
Or can you read me the third row down, please?
Third row down says, your IMS is going to explode. Don't know what that means.
Happy with the look of our old oil and filter, it was time to get the aux belt out.
Oh, stop, you'll get me in trouble.
We then moved our attention to changing the 996's engine pulleys that had become rusty over time and weren't spinning as quietly as they should do.
How long is this?
She's coming. Oh my Lord.
Why is she so long? The Torx.
Did you leave things just sat there on that edge?
I wouldn't have thought so. In comparison to the other one, silent.
Confident that our engine appeared to be healthy, our next point of elimination was the air filter. But first, there was an important change to make.
Much better. Right, what are we up to?
Right, just taking airbox lid off. That looks as fresh as the day it was fitted. Ah!
Will doesn't like spiders very much.
I don't, but proof that air filters work, because what side is he on?
Yeah, he's on the outside. He
He's-
wishes he could get in that engine.
He's been in there for years. So there's no date on it, so we can't actually tell when it went in, but that looks clean. This might have had a service not long before put up in flames.
Are you really scared of that?
Have you seen his ass? He's packing poison, that guy.
That's a mama spider, I think. I think there's lots of babies in there.
Yeah, it's not got a penis.
we moved on to giving our poor 911 a set of spark plugs, a job we'd been told would be horrible. In fact, it was both pretty easy to do and gave us another good feeling about this car's past.
That looks quite nice. So this is a NGK BKR6E QUP wheel.
That's exactly what we looked at earlier, the
That
equivalent.
is the NGK equivalent for the proper OEM Bosch plug. So that is a good sign that someone's used proper good quality parts. It's probably been serviced at some form of specialist. Also, good looking spark plug. I'd like to take that out to dinner.
Happy with the condition of the old plugs, we swapped in some new plugs and moved our attention to fitting a new aux belt and filling up the engine oil.
More!
That's... Oh, look, BOV, you're my arm.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready. You can't make me more ready if you tried. Go. Hold, keep going. Keep it, hold, keep it held.
It turns out that the reason the belt was struggling to fit was for one very simple reason.
I ordered the wrong belt. It's 5mm too short, so we've just spent the last 10 minutes trying to make it fit, and it won't fit. So it's back in with the old belt for now. We will get a new belt before it goes anywhere. Don't worry.
Right, we're in. Belt in, it was time to fill the engine with oil. But first, Will had a very philosophical question.
How much would you say is a litre?
I'd say about a litre.
I reckon that.
Life's big question answered, I decided to sustain a severe workplace injury, which luckily I took like a champ.
Ow! That's,
I knew it was coming. Here we go.
Yeah, it'll be fine for now. So, service is done. A big thank you to Fabi Bilstein for sending us all of the parts we needed to do it. And now it is crunch time tomorrow. Electrician's coming. This is going to get started. I know it. It's going to start. Is it not? Come on. Okay, so it's the next day. The important electrical work has already started.
But there is one more issue we need to address before we can start the car, and that is the Mankey Fuel that's been sitting in it for 3 years. So Will has brought along a friend.
Little pump.
Oh, little pump.
Little pump is with us.
We've got to get rid of that old fuel, so let's get it out.
Yep.
So I believe it is under the battery. Good thing we don't need that where we're going.
Battery removed, it was a simple process of removing the tray, which proved to require getting up close and personal with the 911.
It's a plate.
Entrees. What's that little delicious little acorn-shaped beetle? Perhaps lunch.
So all we need to do is we'll unclip these, and then we need a hammer and a chisel. Oh,
Yeah, brother.
there are flies in there. Should we get the vacuum cleaner?
No, I'd permit this.
After vacuuming away our unwanted guests,
Let me at it.
I snuck in a bit of cleaning, and then it was time to remove the fuel pump.
So the fuel pump itself is held in the tank with like a Coke bottle cap. It just screws in and then is really tight. So you can use a chisel and hammer to just gently tap it so it unlocks, and then you can spin it out and take it out. Oh, there's some in there.
We fed the siphon into the tank, but Edwin had a new wireless pump design to show us.
Hey, look, I'm trying to do God's work here. Oh, you You, God damn it.
Look at the Bluetooth fuel pump.
God damn it. This car's never going to run again.
There she goes.
Hello.
Pleased that I'd now worked out the deeply complicated pump system, we got to work draining as much of the old fuel as we physically could.
This is sort of like 11 o'clock, 3 beers in piss.
Bruce Hogan.
Oh, whoa. Couple tequilas and we're out.
I think we chuck 10 litres of the good stuff in. It'll mix around, it'll be nice.
Yeah, so we put 99 in.
Yeah.
It'll be what,
It'll
92?
probably even out to like a 45 or something.
What's this? That's kind of... How much do you reckon that is?
I reckon that's about as much as you reckon that is.
I reckon that's about this.
Meanwhile, the actual professionals were making progress on the wiring. However, they were only working off of our research and hope that this loom would work, matching as many of the wires as they could and using any wiring diagrams to help them solve the rest. The difference between a £50 used loom and needing a £7,000 brand new loom came down to our research alone, and that knowledge was starting to weigh on our minds.
Right, all it comes down to now is the wiring. So now we wait. I'm scared. It'll be fine. This car will start, please. So the guys will let us know that it's first test. Might not start, might not do anything, but just in case, it comes down to this. If this doesn't work, we've got just a shell of a 911.
Mostly sure of our work, the electricians told us that their first start attempt hadn't worked. The ECU wasn't communicating with the car and something was deeply, deeply wrong. So they told us to go and sit back down, stop messing around in the background and let them go through the Loom again. It was starting to look like all hope was lost for our 911. But then...
We've been patiently waiting, trying not to interfere as well, because every part of me wants to walk over and be like, let me put those wires together, mate. But we've been sitting quietly, but the guys have let us know that there might be something now. Yes! Yes!
And
there's no smoke.
there's no...
Oh my God. It runs! Yeah! Yes! That's a $5,000 running 911.
I think we take it for a drive.
Cool then.
First drive in the 911. All that was left was to choose a driver.
Oh, yes.
Install the seats and take the car for its maiden voyage.
First drive in the darkness of night. It moves. Go on.
moving.
Go on then. Oh, the dash! The dash, my seat! Oh, it did a skid! It did a skid!
It's this car's first skid!
Are you going to drop the clutch? Wait, Will, I don't have a seat. My seat's not... Will. Yes! Yes! It's the... That is a running, driving 996 for $5,000.
So the electricians may have got it running, but we've just come in today to check it over and there are quite a few more problems. We have absolutely nothing on the gauge cluster at all. We have no revs, no oil pressure, no speed, no fuel, no anything. It's just useless, basically. Windows don't work at all, but they do work when you unlock it and lock it. We plugged in the climate control and it goes immediately onto full blast. But one of the most confusing problems we have so far is to do with our indicators and our hazard switch. So this is, believe it or not, the hazard switch. Either indicator, left or right, gives you the hazards as long as the hazards are pressed, but we have no indicators at all, which is not legal on the road.
And the best part is that if the car's running and you press the hazard switch in, you can then take the key out and the car will still run until you press the hazard button, when it will then turn the car off.
Okay, now watch. Oh no! We do have lights.
We're missing a brake light.
We're missing a brake light, which we think is a bulb.
We'll get back to our mystery electronic issue later in the video, but in the meantime, we needed to fix the 996's brakes that weren't ready to go back on the road.
And away he comes. Did I just shit my pants? Yeah, multiple times actually.
One time for the viewers. Oh! Every time we work on this car, I get a good feeling about it. Stop throwing those things. We need them.
We do actually need that. Yeah, everything sort of mechanical has been looked after. What he didn't look after is his relationship.
No.
Or his wiring. Right, these old brakes are absolutely manky and shot, but we've got some new ones. We're going upgraded. We spoke to EBC and they sent us some very heavy discs.
Not only that, I might have asked for a little extra in the box as well. I've got braided lines for this thing as well.
Braided lines are going to make the brakes feel so much better. So we've also got some blue stuff brake pads, and these are perfect for road and track because we're going to be doing long road trips in this, but we're also going to go and smash fill on track. So these are going to come in handy.
You're going to do what to Phil?
We're going to smash fill.
That guy.
Look at that. So they're still drilled like the originals and in the same sort of pattern, but they're also coated in this black stuff. This does come off, but what's good is that these bits don't rust, and that is a pet peeve of mine. People with rusty bells on their brakes don't even go outside.
You cannot tell me there's a better feeling in this world. Baby being born? Nice try. Try putting brake lines on a Porsche.
What bad?
I've never had one. Right, cool, that's on. I'm an artiste of my generation. In this piece, I was really feeling metaphysicality.
A huge shout out to EBC for sending us the 996's new brake setup. Hit the link in the description if you need any braking parts. And with ours now sorted, we decided to try an old trick to get our cracked windscreen fixed on the cheap, seeing as getting a new one would cost over £1,300.
I was expecting to do more damage. I thought I'd go straight through that.
Yeah, Porsche, a 911. Yeah, just like a pole, like a rock, quite big one, came out of nowhere. But yeah, full new screen.
Seeing as the insurance didn't buy it, we picked up a used windscreen from a GT3 for just 150 quid and called in our mate Mark from Reading Autoglaze. Mark needed a hand fitting the screen, which Edwin bravely stepped up for.
Oh, you smashed that.
Down a bit more, that's it. Fantastic. You've just done your Autoglass apprenticeship.
And we had a new windscreen fitted for £150 plus a box of beers for Mark.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, wow, geez, yeah, thank you very much.
I decided it was my turn to clean and restored our faded scuttle panel to black.
I mean, I haven't washed the green off. I didn't clean it, I'm just heating it up.
And also set up a DIY spray booth to revive the wiper arms, which meant that our 911 had at least one part that looked good.
I like the spray booth.
Yeah, look, fumes out.
Fumes out, paint in. That's what I always say.
Better out than in, that's what I always say. That is a new wiper blade, but it's also not new, it's the old one. I just tried to heat it a bit and I've knocked the paint off. So we're gonna put it on the car. Are my nuts under the hood? The hood?
First we spell it centre with an ER, now under the hood.
There is someone commenting, have you seen that guy in the comments?
Who every time.
He's very angry.
He's very angry.
If you are that guy, we're not sorry. Piss off, jerk off. Those are now gonna be slightly different color to the wiper. Do I care?
No.
Yep.
Oh.
Am I gonna change it?
Yep.
Nope.
Oh. That's pretty neat.
They're gonna look at that and say, that's clean. And then they're gonna get up at that and go, ooh, brother, what's that?
If someone was like that over my car, inspecting my windscreen wipers, I'd leave.
We could then move on to bleeding the brakes so we could get the car back on the ground and ready for some more mods.
Wow, look, Will, got a little ladybird in here. Although that ladybird would have been there when we went for a drive. It's just quietly sitting there for 3 years and then it went, whoa! All right, mate. Don't worry about it. Don't let it get you down like that.
The electricians from last time unfortunately wouldn't have time to look over the 911 again for a while. So the next day, Dips from P1 Auto Keys came down to help us sort the Porsche's problems. He'd cleared his entire schedule for that day and even prepared to stay at a hotel that night in case the Porsche was fighting him. And while he got to work, Edwin and I got ready to do some interior cleaning. But then, just minutes later...
Yes!
What was it?
You're going to laugh at this.
Oh no, here we go. No.
Your switch was on back to front. I'm not even kidding you.
A massive thank you to Dips from P1 Auto Keys for making the 5-hour round trip for a 5-minute job. If you need car keys, supercar keys, or an embarrassingly simple wiring job, drop P1 Auto Keys a follow on Instagram and he'll sort you out.
As Dips made the long journey home, we got to work refitting the interior.
Now, one of the first things that we noticed on this car is that nothing on the cluster worked at all. We couldn't get revs, we couldn't get speed, we couldn't get anything. So, Dan's Timeless Classics, Danny, he's a really, really nice guy who loves 996 aero kits, especially the early ones with the cables, just like ours. And since we bought the car, I've been messaging him, he's been helping us out a lot, and he said, I've got an old cluster sitting at home. I'll send it to you guys and maybe it works. Everything works. So, thank you very much to Danny from Dan's Timeless Classics. Give him a follow for helping us out, sending us a new cluster.
I've never been so sorry to a person in my life.
Genuinely. He drove 2.5 hours to come and help us.
To do 2.5 minutes of work.
It was then time to fit the far less beige carpet, and I had sneakily installed something too.
If you look to your right, look at what I fitted earlier.
Whoa!
We're literally installing safety.
This is the safest this car's ever been. Gear shifter going back in, we love it.
It is starting to look like a car.
Look, I'm no expert. This might be a car.
It's getting there.
Right, let me test.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
And off.
And off. Done. That is the first stage of this car going back on the road.
The dashboard could now go in, which Will reckoned he could do single-handedly.
This is a bold move. Here we go.
Here we go. He's going in by himself.
That's done, I think. I reckon steering wheel on, airbag in. Called the MOT guy.
Yeah, it's, you know how they do camber for racing? This is dash camber.
Yeah, this is pre-crashed.
With Edwin now actually helping rather than just sitting around and watching, we got the dash in easily.
In the last video, we had a lot of comments asking us why the hell we cut the loom out and didn't do it pin by pin. Now, firstly, the issue is that they were all melted together in one bulk. Yes, we probably could have cut each one of those out and made them split up so that we could see where they came from, but it wouldn't matter because in the middle of it all was a connector block, the same connector block that you see here. In that connector block, not only did it have some colours that went in one side and went out a different colour, a lot of them were broken off and frayed anyway. So to separate each one of these wires and trace what they should be all the way through would have taken just as long as cutting the loom out and just replacing each one. Oh, there we go. Our final red piece off.
And in going, a new black door card. We picked this up from Steve for £50?
50
two door cards.
2 door cards with no speakers, which is a really rare early thing. On top of that, he also gave us a black carpet, front half of the carpet, and a black dashboard for £20. Thank you very much, Steve, as always, from SW Race Car Hire for helping us out. £70 all in.
And for reference, on eBay, it was like 150 for door cards,
300 for the dash, and about £200 for the carpet as well. So we've just made a massive saving. Steve did pull the carpet out of one of his cars that had been sitting braking for probably 3 or 4 years. So it was very soggy, a little bit of vax cleaning, brand new. You cannot argue with that. Nokia, that's how you know it's strong.
Hello? No, we've already got a windscreen, thank you. All right, thank you, bye.
Door cards in and looking great, we turned our attention to the leftover red leather sections that were still usable, and Edwin had good news.
The electricians may have cost us 700 quid to get this started, but we did mention in the last episode that we might sell some parts to recoup something.
And I've sold the steering wheel. A friend of mine, Colin from Leather Restoration Limited, said, I'll have that steering wheel if you're selling it. And I said, what's it worth to you, Colin? And he said, £500 he will pay for this steering wheel. So it's sold. I need to bring it home with me tonight. That's £500 back in the pocket. There's £700 in, £70 for interior pieces, £50 for a loom.
We did pay Marks and Beers.
We did pay Marks and Beers, that cost us. We're on a decent course for our money right now. Right, so as you know, we have 2 clusters, one not working, one working. Danny, who sent this over, did tell us, look, the reason I'm sending this over, the reason you can have it free, is because it's pretty broken. Also, there's no glass here in the oil pressure. So, I've had an idea. Why don't we have a little bit of essence of our old fire damage car and take the warped glass off of this and put it onto this and make one good cluster out of 2. The other thing is that while we have swapped over to a black dashboard, a lot of our red accents are the only things we have right now. So we're looking for other stuff, but for now, this guy's got to go back in because we've got to put it together for the MOT. You can't put it in like this. Whoa, look at that colour come up. Wow, it's quite bright red under the fire damage. People are going to look at that and say, that's clean. Ah, that's good. We've got 2 functioning doors now. That would have failed the MOT if we didn't have that. It's not perfect. I'll give it another couple coats. We'll stick it in the car.
The 911's fire did serious damage to the left door, but whilst we waited for parts, I came up with a temporary solution to one of the problems.
So we've got the black door card in on this side now, but obviously previously this was completely burnt and melted in half, and the damage that's done on the inside to the cable is it's melted all of the plastic that the door cable goes around. So we haven't been able to open this door from the inside since we've had the car. You know, say there's a fire, you kind of want to get out. We've ordered a new cable, it hasn't turned up in time. Behold.
It's incredible engineering. I cannot take a single ounce of credit for this engineering. This is classic Will.
All I needed for this was a heat gun, 3 cable ties, and a very small brain. And, sorry, some merch from Auto Addicts. Also, we'll have some of these soon.
So, you know, just driving along, and then, there we go. The door opens.
For now, you won't burn alive in your car.
And that's all you can ask for.
And you can't ask for more than that.
It's not a look. It's an interesting one, for sure. Working gauges, look. With a little bit of our original flavour with the burnt dials, that's cool.
Happy with our progress? We got the interior back together, ready for our next step in getting this 996 back on the road.
Before we bought it, our Porsche had been sat on a scrapyard rack for 3 years, exposed to all kinds of elements. The paintwork was faded, the front badge had been removed, and there was nasty tint film residue covering the lights. So our next step was to give it a proper clean, which we chose to do just as it started raining.
Let's go, it's time to spaff all over this car park. Go on, get her, son. Give her one for me, son.
Wow, that
just
is
not coming off.
Shit.
Nothing's coming off.
Having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I am wet.
Do you know what? It's almost too warm over here.
With the car now clean, we could have got a professional in to do a proper polish job on the paintwork, but we were so excited by our progress that we decided to give it a go ourselves. Before that though, we needed to dry ourselves off and then remove something that had been annoying us since day one.
This car didn't want it.
Oh God, it was all stuck on pretty well.
Yeah. Well, and there we go, the Porsche.
That important task completed, I got ready to start polishing by removing any nasty contaminants from the paintwork using a clay bar. Now any rough bits had been removed from the paintwork, I polished a test patch to see how it would come up.
Oh, look at that. This is a white car. They're very hard to see on camera, but trust us, watch the reflection of the light. And disappear. It's gone. Right, let's do the rest of the car.
Let's get this bitch polished.
While Will was busy making the rest of the car shine, I turned my attention to removing the nasty tint from as many things that I could find.
If you stick film onto lights, go straight to jail.
I then discovered something quite disgusting.
So I just took off the other side front repeater. Would you like to see what was in it when I turned it out to clean it? The entire thing was filled with water.
Right, the car is coming along nicely.
It's looking good. This is
looking very good.
And I think let's put the wing back in. Right, ready? I'm going to pull, you're going to pull. Ready? Go on. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. That's just the factory way to, get a 911 in the wing. What next?
Badge.
Bulbs. Oh. Badge.
Bulbs. Badge.
Car.
Right, would you like to do the honours?
Absolutely not. Don't try and put that on me.
Also, this is the only brand new, genuine Porsche part we've bought.
Only genuine Porsche part. How much was it?
£10.
£10.
And it says it goes out of date in 2025.
Expiration. Don't eat it after that point.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you've done it instantly.
Also, anyone asking, why didn't you buy a badge? Lightweight.
Lightweight.
We've saved up to grams there.
Up to grams. Also, us who are both overweight. That looks good. That has got its face back.
I love that. So this thing is looking so much better already, but we're not quite done with the outside of this yet. Edwin has done a pretty cool render of this with some graphics up the side, with some different wheels. That will be coming in the next episode. So let us know what you think of it. If you hate it, just don't comment. Just shut your mouth.
We've removed the awful film. We've removed the awful Porsche badge, which is polished out semi-nicely. Something next episode for that you'll see very well. And finally, Will has spray painted these matte black, and it looks good. You've done a very good job on that. Time to go put them in.
Paint.
With the paintwork looking much improved, we moved on to fitting a new steering wheel, but Edwin spotted a problem.
You know how I brought in my Nardi, my fake Nardi that we were going to use for the steering wheel of this?
Yes.
I don't have a horn button. And that is needed for an MOT.
What if we shout every time he presses it?
I got it.
He's got it.
Nobody tell him. He never drives his car, so it's fine. He won't notice until we're long gone in the distance.
Ah, that looks familiar.
Nah, you never seen that in your life.
Actually, no, I come to think of it, never seen it.
Never seen her.
Our brand new wheel looked great, although there was a slight issue.
Well, the horn works now, so it's contacting. There's something grounding out. Yeah. That's scared Ben. I saw the camera bump. Okay.
That's what should be on there, no?
Way! We jump again.
Love. It scares Ben every time. That's perfect. Good stuff, man.
That's a horn.
Now, not only is that horn, that's a stolen horn and wheel, and we love that.
So the bodywork is done, the interior is back together, but we've got one more thing.
One more?
4 more things, actually. 4 more things. Let's get outside.
Look at this. Look at it.
So much better. How much better is that?
No longer a matte white car with those nasty black wheels. Amazing. Genuinely so pleased.
I am stunned.
And proud. I'm going to say it. I'm proud of this.
Proud.
With a hint of its past life. I like that on there. Thank you very much to Darren from RPM Technic who lent us these wheels. They aren't ours. We still need wheels. Let us know suggestions if you still have any.
We also need seats, graphics and an MOT.
And an MOT.
So we will get to that in the next episode. Right, there are still things left to fix on this car and it's not yet road legal. So we're putting coilovers on it.
Modify before repair, always. Thank you, BC, for sending these over.
And also we're going to get to the wheels later as well.
And the nice graphics. Oh, I'm so excited. Coilover time, the job that every car person has done probably the most ever. Usually very easy. We're starting on the rear because that's the easiest part. There goes that. Do you remember what happened the last time we did suspension? So Will and I fitted the suspension on my 8 Series, on my black 8 Series. We went for a drive afterwards, and we went over a speed bump, and it went dunk, 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 dunk. And what had happened is that we left a spanner in one of the bottom cups of the suspension. So every time we went over a bump, it went against the suspension.
I'm in here!
Yeah. If ever there was a time for the special-ish merch, it's now.
In the last video, we fitted these OZ Allegorita wheels, which we borrowed from Darren at RPM Technic, because we were still searching for a new set of wheels. However, lots of you said you liked our original wheels, so we thought, let's keep them then. So we're going to have our wheels refurbished by Smart Rims with a bit of a TDC twist, and then they'll be fitted with some Accelera 651s that Phil the MX-5 is running too. Thank you to Tyre Streets UK for providing these epic tyres.
So while Will is doing some of the other coilovers, I'm going to take these wheels apart to get refurbished. And what I mean by taking them apart is that these faces come away from these barrels. It's an old motorsport thing. If you damage a barrel while you're racing, you don't need to replace the whole wheel. You can take the very valuable lightweight centers out, get a new barrel, and then go racing. So we need to take them apart, which means undoing every single one of these bolts across. So we've got to get going on that. There we go. One face, one barrel.
Look at that.
Should we get the little spacer and check what it fills it out to? It's actually quite aggressive. Cool, let me get the rest of them out. Last one. And off I will take these to Smart Rims. We're going to powder coat them in our colours. Cool.
Wheels taken apart, we got back to the coils.
Dib's not getting in the car and doing the backs. I hate doing that. I hate crawling into the back space and going.
Is there space back? Oh.
And that's the exact reason.
Yes, let me just get in the 996, darling. Oh, look at that. Can I have that?
It's just there.
I can't reach it.
I can't reach either, mate.
Now that Edwin had stopped messing about, we got the old suspension out and got the shiny new BC racing coils in.
So we've got to swap over our drop link, which looks in a fine condition. In the new coilover goes.
Let's take the other one out and then we can put both the rears in, Gov. All right, see you there.
Lovely.
Hello, I have a strut, please.
Oh, what? How do we never get anything done, man? The second strut arrives.
Mr. President, there's been a second strut.
We're missing another small nut. That's a big nut, Ben. But I do appreciate the thought and the gesture. You know what, Ben? You're right. It was that nut. If we could all just say sorry to Ben, that'd be great. Thanks.
Sorry, Ben.
Hell, you're tall, mate. Will, you look different, mate.
I'm looking different, mate. Money for nothing.
There we go. That's what I have to contend with.
For free.
With me forced to work alone because Will was busy singing, I finished getting the rears in, which made me quite philosophical.
Lows is the most satisfying thing. Wheels, though. You know what it is? It's yin and yang. With lows without wheels, you're lacking. But with wheels without lows, you're lacking. Makes you think. Anyway, coilovers on the front, let's go.
Whilst we cracked on with the fronts, we decided to give Ben the easy task of sticking the number plates on, which went well.
That's where you're choosing? Ben did actually eat his lunch off this. We'll put a clip in of that.
Things that no one has ever said about a number plate.
That's a brand spanking new number plate, and you put Perry Nays on it.
What's your method here?
I'm gonna stick it on the car.
Well, why do we trust him to do this?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Do you want to jump over to the coilovers next?
Nah, it's a bit easy.
Oh no.
What happened there, Ben?
We're idiots, and this is what we have to do.
With this guy.
Listen, Ben, for your first go, it's a good attempt. Maybe on the next one, you will not f it up so badly.
Now we had our plates sort of stuck to the car, we finished getting the front coils in and then dropped the car down to have a look at the fitment.
Oh, that rear needs to come down. All the front's looking better though. We aren't gonna go any lower right now because we're gonna get this car properly aligned. If we're gonna beat Phil, we need every chance we can get. So we're gonna get this car aligned and we will drop it and do all of the alignment stuff then, because there's no use in us idiots messing with it and flipping spanners around and doing preload, because we'll break it. A huge thank you to BC Racing for sending these out so quickly. They had to come from America. They didn't exist in the UK. They had to send them over. If you have any coilovers, hit up BC. I run them on all my personal cars. I genuinely do like them.
The link will be in the description, so make sure you check them out for any of your coilover needs.
My hands are dirty and they need to be clean for this next part. I received something this morning that you haven't seen yet. I haven't looked at it. I made these on Illustrator. I don't know how to use Illustrator, so a lot of this might be completely wrong. Simon from Psychographics, he was genuinely a saint the amount of times that I was like, hi Simon mate, I don't know how to make this. And he'd be like, okay, let me do it. Oh, I'm already seeing it and I'm excited.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, it's perfect. I did a thing right. I did it.
We came back the next morning with fresh eyes, ready to fit our new decals.
Here we go. Here we go. One time. Oh, he's gone in.
Oh no.
Will, what have you done? Will.
Just hold the line caller.
You've committed.
Well. If it isn't TDC, I think that is.
I love that. That is so cool. Just a little thing that makes it cool. Yes. Right, now we've got to not mess up the side graphics.
Yeah, that was probably the
the easiest one.
I'm quite scared, if I'm honest.
There's fear in my heart, keep me scaring. This is the moment of truth.
Oh, I don't like this at all. I just don't like it. I'm just scared. At the end of the day, I'm just one scared boy.
First half seemingly okay, we moved on to the second end, which Will was extremely helpful for.
I don't get nervous,
But at the same time,
I get really nervous.
oh my God, I can see the colour.
That's looking, hang on, I'm concentrating, but with an erection. I've got a serious semi on. Look at that! So you know how last week we showed the render?
Yep.
And what did I say? I said, if you don't like it, shut your mouth. If you hate it, just don't comment. Just shut your mouth. So what are all those comments about?
The point here is we're building a car for TDC, so it's gonna have our colours on it.
You're gonna see this and you're gonna think, that's TDC.
Right, William, it's time for you to clear up and stand back.
Wow.
Yes! I don't care what you say, that's cool, and I love it. And it's not the Mankey Racing, it's the
medium rare.
Over the moon with the graphics, we got going on the other side and then moved on to sorting out our dodgy lights, which were still giving us issues and would stop us from making the car road legal.
While the car looks very good, it is not ready for its MOT yet. Will, we don't have rear brake lights, correct?
Nope.
But what we also don't have is a working front indicator. So that means getting the bulb out, which in any other car, you just, put your reach in your hand in and you pull it out from behind, right, Will? So what Porsche do, they give you this little tool. There's a little slot in this hole. You slide him in, you turn him like that, and then watch, Will. And it pops the whole light out. How weird is that? It also undoes all of the electrical connections for you.
That is the most unnecessarily German thing.
So we've already taken this out. Inside we found a perfectly intact bulb, which is concerning to us because we just know how to change bulbs when they're broken. A quick inspection inside this little hole is some of the green death, a little bit of corrosion. So we gave it a quick sand down, put you in, and you make sure he's in, and then you go, done.
It's unnecessary, but it's cool. I like it.
Do we have a working indicator now?
Yes!
Another thing ticked off the list. Just got to work out that side light, which we think is just a bulb, Will.
Unfortunately, we spoke too soon. One brand new bulb later, and we still didn't have all of our rear lights.
And the brake lights are on. Why?
Take this camera.
So it was back to the drawing board to test out what was going wrong.
So our side light does work, but when it's plugged into the other side, it doesn't work. And we just tested it then, and when we put this one on that side, no side light, but did have brake.
Now sure that it was a deeper issues in the car's wiring and not a dodgy connection, we spent more time consulting the wiring diagrams, and then...
The side lights are on.
Yee! Brake.
The braking commences.
Yes!
We're going to come in with this and the MOT man's going to go, boys, you shouldn't have.
That's all the lights.
That's all the lights.
As Kanye West would say.
That's what he was saying. He was thinking about a Porsche 996 with burn damage.
Yeah.
He went, all of the lights.
He was on MOT duty that day.
What next, Will? I can't even remember. I'm losing track with this car. A lot of you guys have been saying that we've been making very good progress, and we have, but we are losing our goddamn minds here.
Right, it is MOT day. Fortunately, yesterday the V5 turned up, and that means that we are the registered keepers of the 911. We applied for this like 5 or 6 weeks ago, and it finally turned up yesterday. We can't tax the car without this, but we also can't tax the car without an MOT. So we're going to head off to the MOT centre now, let it get tested, and fingers crossed that it passes. We are genuinely worried that this isn't, and we're going to the Nurburgring on Monday, so...
So in the UK, we have a thing called an MOT. It's basically a yearly inspection that your car has to pass every year for it to be allowed to go on the road. So we have to get this for this car to be able to go on the road. And we can't film them. You're not allowed to legally film them in the UK. We just have to sit and patiently wait and hope that our car passes.
This is one of the worst feelings, is just the waiting. Even if you are 99% certain about your car, you get to an MOT and you're still sat there going, but what if they find like a wheel bolt loose? Breaking news!
Your car's shit.
Your car's not legal.
But then we got a call.
Hello? All right, we're coming back now. All right, wait a sec. Wait.
Thankfully for us, the car passed, but before we had time to celebrate, we had an appointment at Evolution Auto Works, who were going to properly set up our shiny new coils. Car dropped off with alignment specialist Adam, we headed down to Smart Rims to collect our freshly powder-coated wheels.
Look at that!
So originally the idea was to match the centres of the wheels to the side of the gradient. Adam from Smart Rims had a look, he couldn't get the match right, so we went for a purple. Actually, to be fair, it's exactly in the middle of our two colours.
There's a little bit of a sparkle in there as well.
Oh, it is, yeah.
I'm very excited to see this now. Massive, massive thank you to Adam at Smart Rims for turning these around so quickly. We dropped these off 48 hours ago and said, please can you do something, anything? And he turned around this. Huge thank you. If you ever need anything alloy wheels doing, hit up Smart Rims. They're always the best. Excited about the look of our new wheels, we headed back down to Evolution Auto Works to collect the 996. But when we arrived, there was something wrong. This was the final part, right? This was just, you know, the cherry on top, the little alignment. What's happened?
There's a suspicion that our car is bent, that the subframe is bent because they've managed to get the toe, so the toe is sort of this, it's this and this. They've managed to get it into like 1.5 mil on one side, which is great, perfect. On the other side it's 10. I'm not that technically minded, I don't understand it, but that is a tyre masher 9000.
Yeah.
That is going to absolutely destroy one of the tyres, and it's going to favour one corner.
We've worked out it would favour the left, which is great for the Nurburgring, which turns right. The car was silver, and now it's white. Perhaps someone did a little skid and bent in or mashed in one side of it and thought, I've got to repair this quarter panel anyway, might as well spray it white.
Many, many hours later, the guys had finally found a way to get our pig of a 911 correctly aligned, and Adam was feeling confident.
How easy was it?
Don't. Good luck at the Nurburgring, you're going to die. I'm comfortable that I'm going to let you drive the car out of here, obviously, and go and smash it around the circuit, but whether it's going to be spot on for the Nurburgring is probably a bit of a different story.
We have to get there first.
The alignment took so long that we ran out of daylight, which meant we had to come back the next day to finally finish the 911's look.
The wheels are built. They look so cool.
Hold the line caller.
I'm too excited. I'm going in. There's something about track meets.
We did our research on the space.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Did some
calculations, and then we came up with a measurement that we needed a 74mm spacer, and we thought, back to the drawing board. That's not right. The more interesting part is the rear, because the rear is low. Look at the meat on that thing.
I'm about to get meat sweats.
Oh, Will.
It's going to hit that arch.
We're going to be on that arch, I think. Will, that rear.
That rear is absolutely spot on.
That's... For those of you who are going to comment, why are you changing the wheels and putting spacers on after you got an alignment? The wheels that we borrowed are very close to this wheel setup with the spacers. So we're matching, basically perfect, what it should have been when we got it aligned. So don't worry. All four wheels on, it was time for the moment of truth. Oh, no way. No way. It clears. We were very worried off camera that this was going to rub and we're going to have to roll the arches instantly, but somehow there is clearance there.
It's not touching,
But it's going to be touching.
with a couple of big boys and some bumps, it might.
It's starting to come together. I think the black needs to go. Maybe we'll do that again down the line, but it is 3:25 on Friday. We leave for the ferry 9 AM Monday. These are the final hours that we have to work on this car before we drive it to Germany.
Okay, so the wheels are on, and we're just about to go for a drive, but before we do that, we're going to get rid of some of these red bits. The only thing that is going to be red and grey, as you might notice, is these seats, which we borrowed from Steve because we had to get them through an MOT. We do have cool seats coming, the gear stick and the handbrake, and maybe like bits like that. But other than that, we're going black.
With most of the old red interior parts removed, it was finally time to put the world's cheapest 911 back on the road.
This is the first time this car's legally been on the road in 3 years. Go on then. Go on then. Yes!
It's very stiff on the road, but when we're on the ring...
This will be perfect. This car was sitting up on a rack. It probably thought, I'm going for parts, man. I'm done. But now...
Plates, tax, insurance, and an MOT. I think we'll probably rub, especially at the Nurburgring, on the really big, like,
on the dips, yeah.
But that's not all the time.
That's not for us to decide. That's in God's hands.
No windows is a problem.
No windows is a problem. That is an issue we still have.
And no climate control. Your turn?
Yeah. Oh, it feels good to be driving this on the road.
We might have only driven this for, what, 5-10 minutes so far, but I promise you, this will not have a single issue on the way to Nurburgring or back. Not one. We're in France. We've just got off the ferry at Calais, and we've got 500 miles of Germany to get through.
Yeah, we've got a big old road trip to do. So we brought friends. We brought Alex and Taylor in the lovely 993. Excited?
Very excited. I'm feeling some 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th gear pulls on the Autobahn.
Ooh, confident. Right, we got miles to do. Let's go. Dibs driving.
Oh, yeah.
We're in France, in the 996.
Second country for the 911.
Yes.
After its home.
Also, 993 up there, cool.
This is a nice car.
It is a bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Picks up quite nicely, very visceral noise and just feel everything.
I like that you can hear all the gearbox.
Yeah.
I just love Porsches. They are awesome. Guys, I can't help but notice that half of your spoiler is missing. What's the story behind that? Where is it?
We've done it's a factory delete, but it's actually in the back of the Discovery at the moment. We are aiming to fix it on this trip.
When you say fix it, do you mean duct tape and super glue, or do you mean fix it, fix it?
Yeah, we heard it was better in Germany, the tape, so we're going to get some there.
That's true.
Is it?
As we headed into Belgium, we suddenly saw something in our mirrors.
Hello. Sorry. What?
Oh.
Hello, boys. Yeah, we're here as well. What are they doing on the back of a trailer?
Jack, would I be right in thinking that you've got such little faith in that 924 that you've had to buy a Cayenne and hire a trailer to do the journey?
I wouldn't say it's a lack of faith, you know, I just don't want to ruin the trip on day one. Last time I drove this, it left me on the side of the M4, so I'm doing everyone a massive favour right now, really.
Well, I'm right behind you. I'm looking at the trailer as we speak, and I can see a massive trail of oil on the trailer, so it looks like you're breaking down without the engine on.
I'll have you know, this thing is fully MOT'd, road legal, on the road, just not, you know, on the road today.
What's it actually like being on a trailer in a car that's being towed?
Engine noise is at an all-time minimum. My temperature gauge is running very cold. It's quite comfortable and I want to be sick.
Are you planning to come off the trailer at any point, or is it just trailer all the way through Germany?
Well, yeah, we'll come off the trailer at some point, I'm sure. You know, I don't want to rule out the possibility that I actually drive this car on the road.
In the 996, we were happy to be driving the first TDC project car. So happy, in fact, that not even our ridiculous list of issues could bring us down.
So currently, no climate control. If it's plugged in, it's on full blast.
Windows
don't work. We've also, as you might be able to see right now, got quite a bit of wheel wobble on. And why is that, Will?
In the rush to get ready for this trip, we had the wheels refurbed, and but by no fault of Smart Rims, we rushed them, so they couldn't get them all properly balanced because they were in multiple pieces, so they're not balanced.
Yeah, and Adam said to me, remember to get them balanced, right? And I went, obviously, and then didn't get them balanced. So we need to get them balanced on this trip.
We're currently driving on 4 ovals.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
In the 924 though, things were much smoother and quieter.
Is it weird that I feel slightly more comfortable being in it on the trailer than I would driving it? Absolutely zero faith in your craftsmanship. Hey, it's not just my craftsmanship. Don't forget, Edwin had hand in this.
Not only was our car running mint, we also had a new modification which we knew would help us set a faster lap time.
As you can see, we have a new plate. Well, that's because Will and I decided we should make a silly purchase.
Yeah, when we were doing the graphics, we looked at it, we were like, this needs a number plate of its own. We had one quick look, and Pig TDC came up, and we're like, that,
perfect.
It's fitting.
Because this car has been a pig.
It is...
we love it.
Le cochon.
It is le cochon.
Yeah, it is
le porc. It's the finishing touch.
It is the finishing touch.
While we all focused on getting to our overnight stop in Bruges, Jack and Ethan were also extremely busy.
Should we do staring contest?
Gravlax is a Nordic dish consisting of which cured fish?
Salmon. Well, you don't think I'm fancy as
What is the title of the 8th instalment in the Fast and the Furious film franchise?
Fast and Furious make-believe bullshit.
You got it!
Is it?
Yeah!
We then arrived at our hotel, which was just 5 minutes away from a wheel and tyre place. We planned to get the 996's wheels balanced early the next morning, but unfortunately, Will had turned up to the hotel rather thirsty.
You're meant to wake up at 8.
8?
I think I'm going to be going to get the wheels balanced tomorrow.
I swear on my life I'll be there. I'll be there.
The next morning, unsurprisingly, Will wasn't there, and neither was I. Will had been so thirsty that he was pretty unwell in the night, which kept me up so late that I had to go and buy another hotel room and catch up on some sleep.
Okay, so it is now the morning after the night before, and as you would have just seen, Will is in a bit of a bad state, isn't he?
He's passed away.
He has passed away. Edwin and Will have obviously told us that the wheel imbalance is causing an issue, so they've sent us out on a mission, which is why we are here at Wheel Service Mertens, which is only about 5 minutes away from the Ibis budget, and hopefully the car won't be like that down the motorway. Edwin and Will, I think you're probably asleep. In advance, you're welcome.
While Alex and Taylor waited around for the wheels to be balanced, back at the hotel where Edwin and I were still nowhere to be seen, Ethan and Jack were hard at work with the simple task of getting the 924 off of the trailer, which Ethan found very easy.
Right, Ethan, get her unpacked.
Ow! Oh, this is just the last thing I want to be doing right now.
It's very heavy.
Yeah, I know, Rory.
You're doing great.
What these hands have seen. Oh, not another one. Goodness me.
The Porsche's wheels were now done, so Alex and Taylor headed back over to the hotel where Jack and Ethan had encountered an increasingly common issue with the 924.
Uh-oh. That'll be this analog clock or something that's just sapped all the juice out of it. Nothing to do with the actual mechanical aspects of this vehicle. It's just the timekeeping.
Is there fuel in it?
Do you know what? Who can actually say about that? Every gauge in this car is a lying bastard, especially the fuel gauge.
I think it's a good job we brought this trailer.
Yeah.
Shut the bonnet. It makes it look like it's broken. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Wish us luck.
924 off the trailer, we finally appeared, feeling nice and fresh.
So, did you sleep well?
With Will running rough but our wheels running smooth, we hit the road for the first time all together.
Well, 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 is that a 924 on the actual road and not a trailer?
Your eyes do not deceive you. I am just as shocked as you are.
It is quite good to have all of the cars on the road together.
They look very cool.
They do.
This thing absolutely screams as well.
We can hear it whenever you drive past. We just get a little.
I've got a question. What is the combined mileage of our 3 Porsches?
So currently we've got 0. So we're quite a low mile car.
That's brand new.
That is brand new.
Believe it or not, but this 924 is actually only on 4,500 miles.
Wow.
So we've got a combined mileage of about 207,000 miles, and 203 of those 1,000 are mine.
You're putting in the work here. You're bringing us home while we're just running ours in.
What are we all feeling about our cars at the moment though? Is everything going all right?
I'm very muchly enjoying being in the 993, but even more so, I get to look and listen to your two cars as well. This is an awesome, awesome experience.
I don't want to say anything about ours, I just don't want to jinx it. We're doing well so far, I'll just say that.
That car's going to break.
Also, Jack, I'm going to say it. I mean, the 924 is in a foreign country. It's made it all the way here. So there's literally nothing that can go wrong with that now.
Don't say stuff like that, because if this thing hears you, it really doesn't respond well to that sort of talk.
Does it get a bit of stage fright?
Yeah, it doesn't like it when its wheelies out.
Don't we all?
Don't we all?
Also, you guys don't know about this yet, but ever since we got the car MOT'd, we haven't had traction control. So, you know, the fact that the rain is getting a little bit worse is not that enjoyable for us at the moment. The ring's supposed to be clear though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's heavy snow, but that's fine. It'll be clear heavy snow.
Oh.
Alex then decided we should have a race in 4th gear, where we definitely didn't cheat at all.
All right, Edwin and Will, 4th gear.
Okay, we're just doing it third. Ready?
3, 2, 1, go! Oh no!
That was 4th. That was for sure 4th.
Right, 3rd gear in 3, 2, 1, go! Yes! Sorry guys, sorry. It's shit. Sorry, it's too slow.
I was going to say he wants to race us, but then they might actually ask me to race, so I'll take it back.
We pushed ahead further into Belgium, only stopping for a bottle of the best chocolate milk.
You couldn't wish for anything more than that.
And for Jack and Ethan to briefly break down.
False alarm, everyone. Had you going there, didn't we?
924 back on the road, we headed through Antwerp, where luckily there was traffic, which allowed us to do some on-the-fly repairs.
We're steaming.
We are steaming, and
We are
that
steaming.
is an issue for
That
us.
is an issue because our only cure to that is to open the window.
That's our current view. So I'm having to unplug this so I can get this guy out, plug him back in. There we go. Right. Sir, would you like some air conditioning?
Please plug me in.
Oh, it's doing it! We're in.
How's everyone finding this traffic?
We're doing well. Our coolant temperature is 0, so cool.
I think my 924 is now refusing to idle, so this traffic is trying to negotiate it is a little bit tricky, but...
Can you guys all just make sure you don't break down, because we're going to want that spot on the trailer for the way home.
Things could be worse. You could be this little Peugeot 206 on the side of the road. Maybe you could break down together.
We are in traffic.
Once we'd finally cleared the traffic, the weather on the horizon was looking pretty rough.
We have had pretty fortuitous weather so far, but that cloud is giving me fear.
It looks like we're about to drive into the abyss.
That's not track slicks weather.
Blue sky, that's just rain.
What a beautiful day. What a lovely young chap. And then that can't run. That can't run.
At that moment, the heavens opened, which was great timing because our climate control had broken again. But luckily, I had a genius fix.
That's good. That will work.
Yeah!
That's working! Yes!
All you have to do is beat the living shit out of it.
He goes, all right. I'll give you some.
Now we could see out of the car again, the view revealed a worrying amount of rain, which made all of us quite concerned about our Nurburgring laps.
Hey, this weather is bad.
It is horrible, isn't it?
I can't see a thing.
Unfortunately, Will, we're 35 minutes from the ring. As much as I trust our engineering, I don't trust this weather and I don't trust these tyres on that sort of weather.
This car needs to make it to beat Phil, Alex's MX-5, and we can't do that if it's in a wall.
What are we thinking, boys? We're leaning towards not going out on the ring in this sort of weather.
I think I might have to agree with you there. What do you reckon, Alex?
Well, although we do have a 4x4, I'm going to call it 2. This is no good.
Ethan says, F it, he's going out.
Any car, any weather, any day, I'm out there.
Tough decision made, Edwin was able to finally relax. Maybe even a little too much.
What is that smell?
Yeah, shit there.
What the f***?
You might be wondering why we're so worried about going out in the wet, and that's because the Nurburgring gets very expensive if you mess up. People have spent tens of thousands on crashing here, and that's before they've fixed their car or any car that they hit. You'll pay for any barrier that you damage, the recovery truck to save you, and you'll pay for a safety car. And to make everything worse, you'll then pay 19% tax on top of all of that.
Although the Nurburgring is a public toll road, your standard road car insurance does not cover it, so it pays to be careful. We all decided in agreement that we wouldn't go out because the track wasn't safe enough for our cars. But then, we made a snap decision.
We've decided we're here, we can't not do a lap. Even if we poodle around, we can't be here and not do something. Oh, hello, look at that guy.
Oh, the things you see at the Nurburgring, crazy.
I also have a little surprise for Will, because there's something I know you'll like here. Let's go in and have a look. This may appear to be your standard petrol station, right?
What is this house of mirrors I'm in right now?
Whoa. Every model car you could ever want.
I have to buy something.
Is this not the best place in the world?
You could spend a lot of money in here.
Yeah, you could get in trouble in here. We could buy it for Jack and Ethan as a present.
And then rub it through the mud a bit, and then it should look good.
We're burning time because the track is open and it's not yet currently crashed.
Okay, but I need to come back here at some point.
We will come back here.
But let's go to the
I
track.
thought I might, Will might enjoy this.
Nervous but very excited for my first ever lap of the ring, we headed out.
Oh man, not only is that the Nurburgring, we're here in the car we rebuilt.
It's made it all this way, not a single problem. We'll take it easy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
We'll take it easy. Off we go. Whoa. One thing to remember, they've just had the VLN race, so there's rubber all over the track. So the fast line is the most slippery.
Great. Wow! I have a bit of curb here. Oh yeah. Yeah, now I know where I am. This is me in an M6 on Gran Turismo. I've come around that corner maybe a million times after restarting.
Does it feel good?
This feels cool.
Oh yeah, clip a little, yeah, we love that. I don't care if it takes 20 minutes to get around. What?
Also, there's just no one on it.
Probably for good reasons.
Probably for very good reasons.
All the Germans, I wouldn't go on there, mate. I'd never go on it.
This car never thought it was going to the Nurburgring.
Nah, this car thought, the last time I'm going to see Germany was when I was born. Now, sir, would you perhaps like from the control panel, anything from the trolley?
I tell you what, I'm actually doing all right, mate.
Okay, we're at the carousel, Will. We're coming up.
Are we? Wow, look at this. Oh. Right, now I'm going to get him.
Yeah, get him through the carousel, mate. Yes! Go on! Yes! Yes! What's that noise? Oh, you know what it is, Will? It's Pringles.
It's the Pringles!
Do you want one?
Oh, did you mind?
Lovely.
Oh. Perfect. Oh, look at this curb.
Oh, you got another guy coming on you. Sorry? Pause? Last corner. Yes!
Is this it?
This is it, isn't it? Yeah, you've done a lap. Over the gantry. Yes! Yes!
Oh, that was.
Yes! Is this not the best stress reliever?
If you don't smile going around here, you are dead inside.
With conditions worsening, it was Edwin's turn, which he took extra cautiously.
Hello.
Okay, she's slipping. My brain is like, just calm, but then the other part of my brain is saying, go get that Golf. Go get that little GTI. Conditions are deteriorating.
They are worsening.
Oh, it is so slippery on that proper line. That's mental. Oh man, this feels so good. To do it in this car, our first ever car. Doesn't matter what you think of the car. I don't care if you don't like Porsches or you do like Porsches. This is cool.
Unfortunately, my careful driving seemed to be taking its toll on Will.
Will, how close are you to throwing up? Be honest.
It's just a thought currently.
There it is. Yeah.
That should be the end of our trip. We should be packing our bags and going home now, but we're not. No. Tomorrow morning, we are going to the Porsche Museum.
Sent them an email, they said, yeah, come on down. So we're going to drive this 3 hours from here up to Stuttgart, have a look around the museum and make the most of this little German road trip, the 911.
The other guys, they're not coming with, they want to do some stuff here, which is completely fair enough, but we thought a chance to take this car back home to the place it was built in, we got to. Let's go.
Join us the day after our Nurburgring laps on the 3.5-hour journey south to the city of Stuttgart, home of the Porsche factory. We've been given access to film at the museum and we thought that our 911 should get the chance to drive itself home.
That morning, all was going well for about 20 minutes.
We've just had to pull over to the side because we've got a very strange rotational noise. And Will and I looked at each other and said, "What's that ticking noise?"
And then I hit the brakes and it went and then yes.
Yo. So hopefully it's just something like a stone is stuck in the brake pad or something, because it doesn't, I can't now hear it right now, but we'll pull over at the next services and have a look.
We trusted him too much.
We really did. We said to this car, we're just going to drive you to Stuttgart. And it said, I don't think you will.
Concerned that there could be a big issue with our brakes, we pulled over, praying for good news.
Oh my God. Okay.
They are just not in the caliper.
The pin has come out. So there should be a pin in there. So we need to get those pads back in. Surely they're going to sell a Brembo pin around here. We've got 165 miles, so we've probably got all in 320 odd, 330 odd miles to do. And that's just for today. That's not driving it back to England. Let's see what we can do about this now.
The only tools we've got are the torque wrench for the wheels and the bolts, because that's what we were most worried about. This wasn't an issue we were expecting. We should have expected it, because who did the brakes?
Us.
We did the brakes.
Also, we trusted this far too much to not bring the tools. It's like a child. If a child's well behaved, you don't give it a knife and go off and play now. You still keep an eye on it.
Well, I don't want to blame it. I'm shifting blame this way.
But still,
yeah.
You know what's really beautiful? Just a German trading estate at 6 in the morning. It's lovely, really, here.
Luckily for us, the pin was actually still hanging on, but to get it back in, we'd need to take the wheel off, and we didn't have a jack.
Worst case, we go and buy a jack somewhere, or borrow a jack from a passerby in broken German. There's trucks over there. I'm going to go and ask them if they have a jack, because... sorry, mate. I took zero German at school.
And he wasn't lying, as we soon found out.
Hello, spreken English? Do you have a car jack? Yeah, a lifting car up? No? Ah, okay.
problem.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But it's okay because luckily
Luckily.
he said no.
Look, is it?
Yeah, he said no.
Like this.
Truck drivers don't carry jacks, they just have assistants. So we got to wait for a car owner and ambush a car owner, and then we'll get a jack and we can do it.
Luckily for us, we were on a trading estate, so Edwin quickly found a man in a GTI who we were hoping would understand our issue.
Our car's broken, we just need a jack. Do you have one in the back that we can borrow for 2 minutes? We could be on. This man in the Mark V might help us.
When I have to translate what jack needs?
The car when he lifts up. Thank you very much.
Yes. I'd just like to say, if it drops on the floor, we leave it here.
Okay.
New channel, new build. Yeah, so we might back on the road. I think we just won't touch the brakes. It's going to be engine braking from here on out.
Where we're going, we don't need brakes.
What's the worst that could happen?
Jack returned to the very helpful Mark V GTI owner. We got back on the road to the museum.
We are like 45 minutes out from Porsche.
But first, we're about to go past something very cool. The actual Hockenheimring is right there. Stop off and do another track day. We're the only car so far to go on track. Ethan and Jack went and slept in their 94 overnight, didn't go on track. Alex, it's my 993, I'm too scared to take it on the track. This thing's done 2 laps. Let's stop off at the Hockenheimring, smash out a couple of laps against some F1 cars.
Get the brake pads falling out, and away we go.
Look, that's the home screen. That's cool.
Wow! We pushed on ahead to Stuttgart, where once again, Edwin's arse decided to attack me.
Oh man!
Edwin's fart still hot on my nostrils, I realised that one of our best mods had unfortunately broken.
My door handle that I was convinced would never break, broke.
Can you also tell the people what you were saying as it happened?
Edwin was having an issue with that door.
Couldn't get out.
And I went to get out of this door and I said, well, actually, my one is holding up perfectly. I pulled the door handle, it came off, and now it's gone.
So we need to do some engineering when we get back to Nurburgring, because we can't have two doors that don't open from the inside.
Currently we are trapped.
We can look at the Porsche Museum, can't go in right now, unless Ben lets us out.
Yep.
Right, onward. We are 4 minutes from the factory.
Oh, hello, little 991.
What does the back say?
Morning, GTS. Let me just step out.
We've got... Oh, let me just step out. Right, here we go. That's the factory. That's the factory that this car came out of. Porsche Germany said yes to this car being here.
Yep.
They gave us special, right? We're getting special permission.
We're getting permission.
They said you can be a tourist, like everyone else.
I'm expecting red carpet to be rolled out, red rope
Porsche
around
Museum?
it. Well, we were. There's Porsches on sticks and everything.
That's cool.
With that, we arrived at the Porsche Museum.
It's here. It made it against all odds. Parked next to the only thing that's worth parking in the Porsche Museum as well. Ready?
Yep, we're ready. Also, please don't back in.
Yeah, it did tell us not to back in.
Do not
Backed
back
it in.
in.
Off we go. Sorry, Porsche.
Before Porsche let us loose in the museum, they gave us private access to one of their workshops, which isn't open to the public.
We have around 700 or 800 cars in our museum collection. An important thing for our museum or for the Porsche Museum, that we're not just having the cars sitting upstairs in the exhibition. Yeah, always important to keep them running. And actually, you will see that later on. Most of the cars, they are registered. They have like license.
Oh, okay,
plates,
And
so
they get driven.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool. So, yeah.
What can we steal off this? Oh, he's got a steering wheel.
It's a bit cleaner than our one.
Yeah.
It's a bit cleaner.
A little
than
bit less fire damage as well.
We'll drop ours by later.
Yeah, the guys can have a look.
I mean, but you guys are like in the middle of the process to
We've got Alex's car.
Oh man, I thought he was taking us to the Nurburgring today.
Should we try and buy one of these and make it do like 80 or something? Oh, that's a super early turbo. This is a very early turbo. This is a very cool place.
Tour of the private workshop completed, we headed up to the main museum.
Where do we start?
Where do we start?
Hey, don't touch me ever again.
They invite us here. Beetle. Oh, that's Long Boy. They made a 2+2 911, and then they saw it and went, I don't think we will. Colour's good. That's the only redeeming quality on this car. Look,
I've seen a distant relative of that car.
Yeah.
Very extremely distant.
In name only.
Yeah. We picked TDC and then we have the pink.
The actual pink pig. At some point, perhaps if the 996 gets a V2, perhaps a livery, perhaps a wide body turbo LS.
This is all inspiration. If an engine goes bang.
If someone were to redline it until it went bang deliberately, oh no. We just put the 924 on the edge, just try to push it off. See you, mate.
I got the Australian Porsche.
Did you know Porsches were also sold in Australia? Oh no! I would sell Will for a 964. Let me do a different one because you can't use that on camera. I would sell Ben for a 964. Mega, ultra, mega rare, light power. Can we build a 964? No, because we can't afford one. Well, if it isn't our old friend. Oh look, we can finally see which bolts we're missing off of our dash. I'm not joking you when I tell you this. We're actually missing that one right there. I didn't put that one in.
Ours was 5.
Yeah, so 2.5.
It's missing the bolts rattling around in the floor pan.
Also, what did they do with the other half? Surely the bits are around. We could use those for inspiration for our car. Yeah, graphics are on.
Can we get the measurements on the?
That would have actually been so much more helpful. Doesn't have wristbands. Weak. If ours could be 1/100th of this, great. This is good. Hello, can I have that, please?
This is like Iron Man. Can you start rearranging it? Just go.
I mean, okay. Just ruined. No, I don't want that one.
I just want to see how long this takes.
Oh, I was just going to say hi. Be back in a bit.
After dropping some wisdom in the gift shop,
that's us, but not.
Toys.
We got back on the road and headed back towards the Nurburgring, as there was another opportunity to take the 996 out on track. But first though, I wanted to make a stop.
Will, what have you noticed?
There's a goddamn Concorde. I like cars.
But planes are cool. I think we stop. Have a little stop. Hello, mate. Can we let us in for free?
Plane stop. So we stopped, and luckily there were things for both of us to do.
A plane. More planes. More planes.
It's just not an M6, is it? It's just got an SC bumper, also not correct wheels, and it's a manual. It's just not an M6, is it? Good try though.
Look at that plane.
Yo, we pulling up in the D cake.
I'll serve you up a hot slice of D cake. Planes stared at, we headed back over to the Nurburgring. And when we arrived a few hours later, Jack was waiting for us, ready to drop some highly educated, in-depth mechanical knowledge about his 924.
To its credit, it drives lovely on the road.
Oh.
Yeah. Just got some, mechanical issues. They're mostly that it's devouring its own timing belt, just slowly.
Excuse me?
That might have been our fault though.
Don't include me in this.
Why? Why not?
No, I've never.
You built this.
I've never seen this man in my life.
This is a completely new Porsche that I've never seen before.
What do you mean the timing belt is eating itself?
Well, just the teeth are just getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
What?
And it idles rough. I think it's slowly falling out of time.
Is this timing belt?
That's all belt matter.
That's not good.
No, it isn't. No, it's not great.
So you're not coming on the track with us?
No, I would like to. There's this big voice in my head that goes, yes, take it on track. That's a brilliant idea. But then there's this really quiet, tiny voice that says, that's a horrible idea.
That means the trailer spot is taken.
Oh, we can't blow up on track then.
Look at this thing. Did you think it was actually going to survive driving it?
Oh, we're going.
We're going to the track now, let's go.
Give her one from me, boys.
That day it had been dry at the ring, so we were hoping that we'd finally get a chance to take the 911 out on track properly.
However, when we arrived, it was shut. But that turned out to be good as the Grand Prix track was open instead. Neither of us had ever driven this track before, so we knew we had to take advantage of this opportunity and get some proper laps under the 996's belt.
Before that though, we headed to Misha and the guys at Vulcan Alpha. They had noticed our lack of rear wing blade and wanted to see if they could design something that might help.
Oh, that is cool.
After the 996's rear end had been scanned in, we headed into the office to see the design that they had come up with.
Holy shit. That's quite cool.
That is the bollocks, isn't it?
The most undeserving car for that wing, but also ridiculous.
It just suits the pig look of the car, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's cool because it's close to 1-to-1, so it's going to
cool.
make like around 160, 170 kilos.
It's a lot of kilos.
Yeah.
Fair play. That is
amazing
the
work. That looks so good.
It does look good.
Walking in, I was like, it's just gonna be a wing. Now that's pretty cool.
I'm gonna need that. Yeah. It was finally time to get the 996 on track, but just before going out, we noticed something rather worrying in the Porsche's oil filler cap.
We were informed that we were burning a bit of oil, so we thought, before we go out, let's top it up. There is a little mayonnaise
sauce.
Yeah.
There wasn't sauce before. To be fair, this car's only done lots of short journey.
No, it's just on one really big journey.
Big journey. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Let's wash it away.
Just wash it away. Just wash away the pain. Look, what happens, happens.
I think we forget we saw that.
See what?
You just put the oil in, right?
What?
And it was clean.
What?
We then arrived at the GP track to Alex and Misha waiting with a challenge.
Top dead centre are here with their 911 and they're going to be going out just after us.
Yes. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, you don't have a choice, is not to let them past.
With the challenge set, we were more than up for it.
That'll give you all the beans you need.
I'm ready to go.
We're off, boys.
Oh, he told me to send it. Oh, this is quite strange already.
Oh, lovely. Oh, a bit of curb as well.
The Cayenne is absolutely flying.
Cayenne's not getting away.
This is cool, Will. We're on the Nurburgring GP track. Formula 1 cars used to go on here. That's just got that wrong as always. That's an interesting smell.
That could be shit.
Look at the car. That's incredible. What an incredible sight.
Oh shit, they're behind us! No!
Jesus Christ.
I know, overtaking on the right. No one to take on the right.
We've got an E30 coming as well.
Oh, that E30 is rather cool. Oh, he's got it deep. Bastard, come back here. It's probably a 316 as well.
Yeah. Edwin then got bored of being behind the Cayenne and and decided enough was enough, which went well.
Oh, we've got some brake fade.
Oh my god! I'll tell you what, Will, there's a little bit of brake fade.
Is there? My poo. It's now one with my pants.
Hey, I think we've done the Cayenne.
We're faster than Misha.
We beat Misha, both in Porsches, on a level playing field.
In his own house.
If that's not worth a subscribe, I mean, what is?
Absolutely.
Will, it's your turn. So I want to save this car for you a bit. Hello.
Hello, baby.
Good drift.
You know, may have outbraked myself just a tad. But it's Will's turn now. Let's see what Will thinks of it. Will, you going on to the Nurburgring GP track in our Porsche that we rebuilt. I don't have a handle to grab. I've trapped my finger between your seat and the centre console. Ow! Will, there's an E46 compact behind us. You cannot let him pass.
While we were smashing our Porsche around the track, Alex was also out in his 993, loving every second of it.
Whoa! Come on, Nigel. All right. Handles pretty well. I'm quite impressed with Nigel. Quite good. For an old boy. Yeah! Oh, this feels really good. Oh, yeah! Where are the TDC boys? They're behind. That's all right. Are they? Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah, go get Alex. Will is locked in right now. He cannot speak. Have him. Have him. Yes! This is good. Jesus Christ, Will! We're gonna drive this home!
Line like 3, coming to get you.
Ah! Yeah, go on, Will. Go and get it. Give me that 993.
I have to let the 46 go.
Oh, you not. That was good work, Will. The Pringles are going everywhere. Yes. Oh, I like that. I like that. Yes. Oh, that's lovely, Will. That's gold sector.
That was double.
Yes. Yes. Good start.
I think we cool it down. If you like doing a bit of driving, you like your cars, you have to come here.
Yeah. I know it's a bit of a cliche as well at this point, like, oh, Nurburgring. But where else in the world can you just turn up to a track, do a couple laps, and then go to the hotel and have some beers with friends? Like it's
the whole vibe around.
There's no
the area.
Yeah.
You don't get that where you can leave the track and everything around the track is cars.
Yeah. It's just cars.
It's cars.
You know what this is? It's classic cars. Go on. Throw it in my son. Yes! Yes!
I think I'm done. I'm happy with that.
Road trip conquered. Porsche Museum conquered. Nürburgring conquered. The Porsche 911 lives again.
Today we're in full preparation mode to take this car up against Auto Alex's V6 MX-5 on track. But first up, we need to find out how much power this little old 911 is making.
First things first, we're here at TRS Performance because we want to find out how much power the 996 makes. We don't actually know right now. We need some science to work out if we can beat Phil or not.
So we did drive this 1,000 miles to Germany. We did the Nürburgring and it felt pretty strong, but we want an actual number to see what sort of power we've got to go after Phil with. 200?
11.
It should be strong. Let's see.
Guess is made. It was time for the runs.
Here we go, sports fans. Here we go. You might actually be able to see some of the stuff coming out the exhaust. There you go, there's some of it. Loading it up.
That was easily 290.
Yeah, what's your actual?
So I think these are what, 296?
Something like that.
I'm going to say 272.
286. He's lost 10.
10 horsepower.
10. One a year. It's not right at all. Here we go again.
a healthy car. Dyno complete, it was time to find out how much power our 996 was making.
Ned has the results. This feels like a doctor's appointment. I don't like this. I said 286.
I said 272.
And they're flywheel figures you're hoping
Yes,
for?
yes.
At the hubs, with no correction factors, it's making 234.
234 wheels?
So that's not bad.
That's
and 209 foot-pounds of torque. So corrected for a flywheel figure, we're at 274.
Ooh, 274. I'll take that. I'll take 274.
So a massive thank you to the guys at TRS Performance. It has to be said, this isn't the usual stuff that they do. Rough pig of a 911 crap, basically. They specialise in BMWs, Fords, Volkswagen stuff. They've got tuning, they've got the hub dyno, anything like that. Get in touch with them. We'll put a link on screen and in the description. Please make sure to check them out. Just as we were getting ready to leave, I noticed something with our wheels. What is this?
Oh, I've got to go over here now.
How has that happened?
We did 1,200 miles of road trip, and it was fine. And then we got 2 minutes away from the unit, and I kept it.
You could have made an excuse. That happened on the ring.
I was overtaking a McLaren P1, and he clipped me. You know what happens? Mistakes happen in the heat of passion.
You may also be wondering why our car is covered in dots.
Why does our car look like Cruella de Vil?
It's got an acne problem.
It is hitting puberty. There's two reasons for each of those. When we were at the Nurburgring, Misha said, let's scan something of your car. And they saw this gap in the wing and said, we could make you a wing. We could scan you a wing. So they put all these dots on it and they said, all right, mate, have a good one. So that's why the dots. We haven't removed the dots yet. And also you'll notice the fluff. We were told multiple times by Alex and Taylor, stuff coming out the back of your car. And then when we came off the track, everyone said, that car's louder. So what we've got is really a muffler that's blowing out its insides. Its back's been blown out.
But we are fixing that today. We are going to Rich's fabrication shop and he's going to sort us out basically.
Make some new mufflers.
Our car isn't chuffing out that. The next morning, we headed over to Rich's fabrication shop to replace our disintegrating back boxes and hopefully to get some better sound out of our 996.
We're with Rich, and Rich has agreed, somehow, for some reason, to build us an exhaust for this 996. First thoughts on the car?
It's a piece of shit.
This is true. From what it was though, it was a burnt out shell of a car, and now it is at least a running shell of a car.
I like the spoiler.
With our chicken pox on the back as well.
I actually thought they were screws.
I mean, probably better if they were screws.
With that, we got the 996 in the air to take a look at the old broken exhaust.
These are aftermarket, the manifolds are standard, and the cats should be standard. Are Porsches your favourite or least favourite cars to do exhausts for?
Hate Volkswagen.
So there you go.
Same.
Same.
Oh, look at the stance.
Yo.
Hello. Yep.
Okay.
Here we go. There you go, Ben.
With Will busy filming two dogs, Rich got to work.
Exhaust is, we'd think just like that, like a sort of external wastegate but without a turbo. Perhaps a no back box startup. What's jangling around in there? Oh, here we go. Lovely. The old mufflers were now out, and when I picked one of them up, it wasn't hard to see why they had started to disintegrate. What do you think it is? Yeah, so in case you didn't know, an exhaust is not meant to sound like that.
What?
Whatever's in there is what we've been shitting out. There we go. Candy floss. Back boxes are off. So now,
the world is our oyster.
We're not doing anything with the cats, and we're not doing anything with the manifolds because we appreciate time.
Should we see what it sounds like, and then we can decide. If we want a little bit less, we'll put some mufflers in. If not, straight pipe. Perhaps a bit too loud.
I think it sounds pretty cool, but
it does sound cool.
Probably,
but for the track, the idle sounds great now.
That sounds good.
We've
just maybe gained 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah,
just from that idle.
So obviously this is not your standard back box. It doesn't come from the front of the car to the back. What's the process? Do you go up and around the back of it to do a muffler, or what?
I just wing it.
Oh, perfect. We're on board with that.
Oh, who made this? You must have fabricated that fork, sure.
Yeah.
You made that, yeah.
It's all my own cutlery.
With the fresh, new mufflers made, it was time for the extremely important task of choosing our tips.
It's time to work out what tips we want, because that's the most important part of it.
That's the most important bit.
I've only got 2 fours.
Whoa! Carbon ones?
I thought that was a tip you brought out then. I was like, oh,
How big were the tips on your RS, Will?
5.5 inch.
That's ridiculous.
But they fit the gap. You've got to fill your exhaust hole with exhaust. Now that is my kind of tip.
That is a classic William.
You can fit a whole arm in it.
In the UK, in the 80s, 90s, a rolled out tip is the thing.
Roll out the tips, if you will. Can we get thoughts?
Thoughts? Ooh, the dog is undecided.
Neither. Oh, now we're talking. That is the perfect size.
I agree. I think that is actually
That's the perfect size.
That's cool. That looks good.
That's perfect.
That's a good bit lighter.
That is basically it. That is one side of a Porsche 911 exhaust. Your tip will then clamp on. So if you want a downturn or whatever, you can always change.
It's got a motorsport feel. This isn't like a posh Porsche anymore. This is like a joke Porsche.
While Rich got the final exhaust in, Will was super busy.
The final thing to do was get our new tips polished, and the 996's exhaust was done.
Before hearing the new noise though, we wanted to see what was making our old exhaust rattle so much, so Rich cut it open.
Ah, so that must have broken off in there, then the fluff could come through.
But you can see how bad flow that is. It goes up there and it's at 90 degrees and then it's back in.
So perhaps even we freed up some power, who knows?
Exhaust is done. We've got the tips on, everything is in. It looks so much better than those manky old fluff spitting out pieces of crap that we had before. Because there's only one more thing to do.
Sound test.
Ooh. That's definitely a little bit louder.
That's louder. Are you happy, Will, from your face?
I mean, it didn't sound bad before, but
that's Porsche.
That's 100% better now. No more little horrible leaks and that is wow. Right, so the exhaust is done on the 996. A massive thank you to Rich at Rich's Fabrication Shop. Are you pleased with that?
That sounds good.
I'm over the moon with that. I'm over the moon with that. For any exhaust work, fabrication work, anything like that, make sure you check out Rich. We'll put his website down in the description below, and also make sure you go and check out his Instagram as well. He puts everything on there, and that is so good. Edmund's going to enjoy that all the way home now. We have got seats from the 911 after many, many weeks.
Many borrowed seats from Steve.
Yeah, many borrowed seats. Also, we didn't tell Steve that we were taking those seats to the Nurburgring.
We said we just need them for the MOT, mate, please.
Yeah, just like a little journey, like 10 miles.
Steve, as always, thank you.
Huge thank you, even though you didn't say yes to that. But now we have some proper seats. Around the Nurburgring, those seats in there, the standard ones.
You can see us
it's not good.
flopping around.
I was in your lap. My head was in your lap.
That before or after recording?
We've got Pro Sport, so they're very light. Oh, I'd say that's 10 kilos. Let's get them in.
Well, well, well. What have we here?
Look, if the seats are out, I'm hoovering. If you don't do that, there's something seriously wrong with you.
I agree with you, mate. We're the same, you and me. We just love cleaning, don't we?
Yeah, we do love it.
We love it.
Well, these won't fit in the Hoover, so...
He'll never know. Just a little souvenir.
Oh man, are we mounting a TV today? Where does this go?
On the roof.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Ooh. Should we do a test just to look?
They're looking nice.
Oh, look how low we are.
That's going to help me to no end.
We're taking these door cards out.
The rear ones?
Rear cards?
I think so. I think we go full front half. The rear is gutted.
It's gutted, mate.
It's so sad, mate. It's not happy about what's happening.
It's been let down.
The quality of filming really goes downhill when Ben's not here.
It goes up, you mean? The quality goes up.
Wow. Oh, hello. That's weight savings right there. This thing is weight savings.
Oh, shit, you're going to get me in trouble.
Removing the sound deadening revealed access to the wiper motor, which sent Edwin into a rather long rant.
Deleting rear wipers, kind of dumb, but fine. I get it aesthetically. If you then put a sticker that says no wiper gang or cool wipers.
It's kill all wipers.
Kill all wipers, you're in the head. Don't put the f***ing sticker on there. You've now undone the thing that you did in the first place. Leave it clean. Will, you have a wiper delete on your 182. Don't have a wiper anymore, mate, ripping around
just
it.
because you said that, I'm going to get a sun strip.
Do it, you clown.
Whoa there, watch the speaker.
When you punch someone from the House of Commons.
Oh, I could take all this muffing out.
Okay.
Rear of the car now fully stripped, we removed the rear wiper in order to save some extra weight.
The heavy part is the motor. in there. So that's what we've got to get out next. Hello. Oh, that's heavy. Don't fill my arse crack.
That's got to be at least, I'd say that's...
It was then time to get the seats in.
Oh, hello, Will. And also, just whenever you're feeling sleepy, you can just...
The toys in Toy Story when Andy walks in. Andy's coming.
When you want to use aftermarket seats, you'll see a lot of times people have harnesses through these holes here. That's because a lot of seats don't allow you to use your original seatbelt with them because of a thing called submarining. I am falling backwards as this is happening. Imagine this went down here. I went like this. If I crash and this is only bolted here, I'm not actually held into the seat. I'm just gonna slide out from under it like that. I'm gonna die because this seatbelt is gonna crush my insides and kill me. You'll see a lot of aftermarket seats have this hole in it. And that is so that you can thread your seatbelt buckle through there. Now it's holding you around your waist and not over your waist. Don't die when you put aftermarket parts in your car, people. Don't do that. It's helpful if you don't die because then you can keep using your car. Don't get in the seat quickly because the seatbelt buckle will stab you up your rectum.
Get me in that seat.
Why didn't we do this before the trip, Will? This is ridiculous. Look how much more legroom I have.
Yeah, but those seats. Would you have done those seats for many
Yeah.
hours? Oh, I'll tell you what. That's not in my side. I'll give that right. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Off to the racetrack. Right, we got to wrap some shit.
The new, sportier seats were looking great, but the black exterior accents were not. So the next day, we decided the car deserved those sections wrapped white to match the rest of the car.
Right, another thing to make this car faster, wrap.
Yep.
We do not like the black on the roof and the black on the wing. Also, the wing's missing. We've been sabotaged. Jack stole the wing in the back of his 94 when we came back from the Nurburgring. Hasn't given it back yet. They're trying to slow us down. We need that wing in here. We need to get it wrapped white. So we've got some white wrap. We're not very good at wrapping. Well, sorry, I'm not very good at wrapping. Also, as you can see, the paint on the roof has been just ruined by every bird in the country, it would seem. We've tried our best to clay bar it out, but this would need a paint to be good again. For now, have it nice and be everything white. Another appearance from Heat Gun, the incredibly branded Heat Gun.
Heat Gun. By Heat Gun.
That might even be delectable. Look at that.
Our positivity quickly faded.
Oh man, wrapping's bullshit. I hate this stuff. Wrapping is just swag.
Wrapping was created by the devil to punish humans on Earth.
Despite these slow motion shots making us almost look like we knew what we were doing, we were actually really struggling. So for some reason, we called in Ben for some help.
It's me!
Hello, Ben.
You need a hand, boys. It's just too easy at the end of the day. I get so fed up of sitting there all day.
Ben.
Hello.
You've done as best as you could do. That part's not actually fully down, but the rest of it, you've done really well. Hold on, let me just see this part here.
Oh, you bastards! It's not the right, look at that, look. It's shown up that our car's not white.
Our car is grey.
If you wrap cars, you have the patience of a saint.
That was a complete failure, but we can do some other stuff. Let's make this thing lighter. Let's stop messing around with things that aren't gonna make us quicker and make this thing quicker. During our road trip, this car became kind of a communal dumping ground. So as I open this, I've got a can of Pringles, parts, coolant, there was a chicken tikka. So this is slowing us down. We're gonna pull this out. We're also gonna pull all of this out. We don't need this where we're going.
Take this out.
Yep.
We'll take
that out. Let's get lightening.
Front boot/bin emptied, we moved on to the real weight reduction.
Oh, we're losing the rubber?
No.
Just for now. Ah, the clip-ins. 20, 30 kilos. Perfect. On the volley.
You want to volley that. The touch is immaculate.
Here you go, sir. Should you want a bigger one?
Me looking at my penis.
Great. Oh, lovely. Goodbye, mate. Oh, hello, your fingers. Well, you're still connected, mate. There you go. Oh, there we go.
That's actually quite heavy.
Look at this, a tub.
That's the inside of a car, surely.
At the start of this series, we weighed the 911 before we did anything in order to get a base weight figure.
Before we do anything though, we want this car to be a little bit lighter, so we need to find out what base weight we're working with. So Will's going on holiday.
Yep, in my little suitcase, we've got some corner weight scales. So we're gonna see exactly how much this thing weighs as it sits. Okay, I made a mistake already. Adam from Renw Works lent us these, and he specifically said, remember to put them on the right ones. Edwin is doing the rear left at the moment, and I've got a front left. That's already on the car.
Because didn't I already, I already put that one under. For God's sake, Will.
Christ's sake, man.
They're labelled. It's not like you have to guess. Rear left on that one.
Right, that is the correct one in. We literally can't get it wrong now. So all the wires are color coded as well. He also said, make sure you get the colors right. You've got the wrong one, haven't you?
I can't believe it.
I was convinced.
What do you mean?
I need to get my eyes looked at because this is not it's not looking good, bruv.
What?
It's not correct. Oh, it's not correct. 1228.
That could be correct.
That's the lightest 996. Someone has stripped everything out of their car and it's still not that weight.
The fire. The fire took all the weight with it.
Edwin, you know full well it is not going to be 1228. How much do you weigh?
Like 110, 120?
No, you don't. You weigh 80 kilos.
I do weigh 80 kilos, that's true.
But because it started with them on, so how could it measure a weight? If it has a weight on it, it has to be zeroed.
Zero that shit, Grandma.
Zero. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're getting numbers that make sense.
Okay.
1373.
Okay, so we need to pull 73 kilos out of this car.
Yeah, I want it to be 12 something.
12 something,
12
that's the goal.
That's good. Okay, yeah, it only took an hour.
Why are we weighing this car on a George Foreman grill?
That's crazy, that. Got a nice little panini in that.
Back in the present day, we headed down the road to borrow the corner scales to re-weigh the 911, although the car had decided that now would be a great time to overheat.
We jumped in the car, finished the weight reduction and everything, to come back over to Evolution Auto Works, because as you've just seen in the clip, we weighed this car when we first got it. Before we did anything else, we weighed it. And we thought, let's put it back on the scales, let's see what we've lost. And the car drove here, fine. I drove here, Will and Ben followed in Clio, and when we got here, they said, it's smoky a bit. And if you follow me over here, Ben, when we pulled up, this was under the back of the car. That's coolant. That's not good. We also have no coolant gauge, so to me, I thought we were running cool. I was running at 0 degrees. This might be an issue. This car has to go on track in a few weeks. We've got to find out what's wrong with this.
Even after the guys at Evolution Auto Works had had a look at the 911, there was seemingly nothing wrong with the engine. So with the 996 now running perfectly again, we decided to head back over to the unit and proceed as normal.
It's time to see what the difference in weight is. What's your guess?
1312.
I'm saying 1299.
Ready? 1279. 1278. That's the 1279. 1278.
1279 is the final figure. That's nearly 100 kilos.
That is nearly 100 kilos.
Phil's done. That guy.
We were over the moon with the Porsche's weight savings, and the only thing left to do was a cost breakdown on the entire build, but not before we'd done some explaining.
In the first road trip video, we said that our windows weren't working. We got a load of comments being like, but we could see the windows down in the next bit. And that's true. I'm blaming this on Ben. Ben cut out the bit where we explained what the issue was. Our windows don't work. The switch that goes here, when you click it, nothing happens at all. So, moments before we had to leave, I realised that won't work. We've got to go through tolls, we've got to have our window down to get the card out for the Nurburgring. There's going to be lots of times when we need a window. I hooked up a very ghetto fix. It's probably enough of a ghetto fix that it might burn this car down again. So, the system, it's very human. I've simply taken a 12 volt feed from a cigarette lighter, which doesn't work, but does have 12 volts, to this open spade connector. You then place it in a thing, you see this little switch here, you flick the switch, and the window will go down. And then when you want it back up, you put it back in there, and it goes back up. But that is an explanation for all of you saying that we faked it, or that we were saying things were broken when they weren't. Does this not look broken to you?
Right, we've given the car a clean, it's back to its pristine beauty. But first, a thing that you guys were asking a lot in some of the earlier episodes is what is the cost of this car? Including freebies, including all the stuff we get, what is the real cost to one of you guys building this at home? So we've come up with a list.
The car was £5,000.
The replacement piece of Loom was £50.
And the electricians to fit it was £700.
Febby sent us over a service kit, but that would have cost us £192.
EBC sent us out some discs, pads and brake lines, and that would have cost us £988. And the windscreen was £150, and Mark's labour would have been another £150.
Whoa, hell. All of the parts to convert the interior to black, including the steering wheel and the gauge cluster, were about £400.
And our seats with the frames were £840.
The bonnet badge cost us £10, and Will's awful paint job on the wipers cost us £5.
Our tyres, spacers and getting our wheels balanced was £658.
And for smart rims to refurb the wheels would have cost us about £300.
BC sent us these coilovers, but they would have cost us £1,044.
The graphics cost us nothing to design because we did it, but would have cost us about £50 to print.
The bulbs and other miscellaneous bits cost us about £25.
The MOT cost us £50.
The alignment to get get this thing ready for the Nurburgring was £400.
The private registration cost us £250 and the plates cost us £30.
And the exhaust cost us £400.
And the weight reduction cost us absolutely nothing.
And that leaves us a grand total of £11,692, and that's including the car.
And we sold the steering wheel for £500, and I've got a buyer lined up for the old suspension for another £500. So we're in what, £10,600?
£10,692.
Just over 10 grand.
That's not bad. Now, Alex did say we wouldn't get this car on the road for double its price. And while he's slightly right, there's only a few hundred quid in it, and I think that is a result. That is
Easy.
basically a 10 grand 911 on the road.
On the road, on the track. Our cheap Porsche 911 has a huge problem, and this time it might not be worth fixing.
We bought this Porsche 911 earlier this year from a scrapyard for about a quarter of what these cars are usually worth.
It was badly burnt inside and needed a lot of new wiring to get it running again. After all that, we had spent another £5,000 getting the car back on the road with a few modifications on top.
The series was coming to a close and we were gearing up to take it on track for the final episode. But the day before the shoot, there was an issue.
The car's gearbox started to make a horrible noise, and with other projects taking over, the 911 sat abandoned with no idea to what extent it was broken and no plan to fix it.
So today, we're going to try and figure out what is actually wrong with this car.
Eventually ends up grinding itself to bits in the bottom of the gearbox.
How much it'll cost to fix.
It's £16,853.10.
And decide what we should do with it.
It's not good.
Hope's gone.
There's only one conclusion we could really come to, and that's...
Right, so something is wrong with this car, and the fact that it only happens in 3rd and 6th gear probably tells us that it's going to be in the gearbox. The engine, it would be doing it all the time, and if it was clutch related, it would be doing when it changed the clutch, but it is only when it's on gear in 3rd and off the throttle in 6th. So that kind of points towards bearings and gear sets inside the gearbox, the things that turn and actually send the power to the wheels.
And there's nothing actually obviously wrong. There's no holes in the gearbox with oil pouring out.
No.
There's nothing pouring out of where you would fill it or where you drain the oil. It all looks like it should work, but that's the problem with gearboxes. If you can't see the problem, it means you're gonna need to take it apart.
A quick Google said that these gearboxes don't like when you leave their oil too long, and to be honest, we never did change the gearbox oil in this. So the first thing I did was I dropped the oil from the gearbox to see if I could see anything in it, and I filled it back up with fluids. And the old gearbox oil is over here.
So you can actually tell a lot about oil, whether that's engine oil or gearbox oil. First thing is the color. This is very black. If it was looking golden, we'd know that's been done regularly, it's been done recently. It really hasn't. Also, the consistency of it as well. You could drink that nicely and you would never know any different. Don't do that. But it's really watery, and it should be a little bit thicker than that. That's meant to be lubricating metal and gears and what such. And if stuff gets really bad, you might have some bits of metal in your gearbox, and that is when metal on metal, there's no lubrication, it's just rubbing away. This doesn't look too bad. There are some bits in it, which means it hasn't obliterated itself completely, but I don't think we can tell too much from this oil, really. It's not a good sign, but there's nothing conclusive here.
There's nothing in this oil that tells us for sure that this gearbox is done for. So I threw some new gearbox fluid in it yesterday, filled it up, haven't driven it yet, because I don't want to do it without Will here. So let's see if it's fixed it.
So what gear is it you had a noise in before?
3rd when you're accelerating, and 6th when you stop accelerating.
Let's see.
1st is fine.
2nd is all good.
Oh no.
Might be difficult for you to hear that. Sounds like someone's rattling a box of Cocoa Pops back there.
Oh, it sounds so bad.
That's just not a nice noise.
So 6th is fine, and if I let off, it didn't fix 6th.
More expensive noises. So we now have a 4-speed 996.
It's an early one.
This is now like a 60s or a 70s.
That's what I mean, yeah. Like they all have 4 speeds.
So you go 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th.
That's it.
Now knowing that there was clearly a much deeper issue inside the gearbox, I headed down to a local friend and Porsche expert, Northway Porsche, to speak to resident gearbox expert Paul, who I was hoping would be able to diagnose the issue.
So what do you reckon is wrong inside our 996 gearbox?
I mean, the most common things with 996 gearboxes is the main bearing in the bottom of the shaft. That normally starts off with a noise first of all, and then eventually ends up grinding itself to bits in the bottom of the gearbox.
And would you hear that through all gears?
You would hear that through all gears. However, yours was in 2 gears.
Yeah, 3rd and 6th.
Obviously, we haven't stripped it down from what you were describing and what we felt when we drove the car, that the bearings on the actual gear sets themselves are broken up.
Okay, there's a 996 gearbox down here. If they don't lock up tightly at night, I'll be here to take that. So this is a 964 gearbox getting a similar kind of job done, being torn apart. It's not particularly simple. If Will or I try and do this, we're gonna mess it up. It's actually the first thing you said to me is do not take it apart yourself because it'll never go back together.
Yeah, that's it. With a 996 gearbox, you need a high pressure press to take the gears on
And
and off the shaft.
we're not gonna have one of those, are we?
No, that's it. But yeah, there's the bearing that sits inside. So each gear, say for instance, like that one there is 4th gear out of this gearbox. Each gear has 2 gears. So you have a fixed gear and a rolling loose gear. And that is the bearing that sits inside the loose gear. And obviously I think with yours that is then disintegrated itself.
What sort of thing causes those bearings to degrade?
Lack of oil contamination. So i.e. if it's been sat for a long period of time, if you've got moisture in there.
No, it doesn't sound like our car. Ours has been going pretty often. Yeah, no, we never changed the box fluid after it had been off the road for years. So it's on us fully. If it, let's say it only needed those bearings on 3rd and 6th, what sort of time does it take you to, if it was a 996 gearbox, take it apart?
I mean, the gearbox itself taking in and out of the car is not too bad, as long as nothing breaks when it's coming out. Casings and what have you, to strip them down, it's probably about a day and a half's work by the time you've got it all apart, stripped, measured, and then going back together again.
You've been doing these for years and years.
Yeah.
That's your fast time. To someone who, let's say, is a novice, let's say, I don't know, they've never touched the internals of a gearbox before. Don't know who that would be referencing. How long would you reckon?
Just don't do it.
Perfect. Yeah. Time to ring around and see what options we've got.
With a specialist now having confirmed that there was a serious issue with the 996's gearbox, we knew it was going to have to be removed from the car. But we'd need to decide exactly what to do to resolve the issue once it was out.
So we'll call up Porsche and ask them what they want for a brand new gearbox.
It's going to be a lot, but it's an old car.
Yeah.
It might have a couple laying around.
Surely there was some that you didn't sell.
You never know.
Thank you for calling Porsche Centre Reading.
Hi there, I just wanted to get a price request on some parts if possible, please.
Yeah, what are you after?
It should be a 6-speed manual transmission with the factory LSD.
What I'll do, let me pop you on hold quickly.
Yep.
I should be able to get it sorted. 2 seconds.
No worries, thanks.
Also, that gearbox is even rarer because it has a diff in it, a limited slip diff.
An LSD version, a limited slip differential gearbox, is really rare to find in these early cars. They're really sought after and people pay a lot of money for them, I've heard. Hopefully we don't have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, so that one's available in Germany. So it'll take about 5 to 6 working days to come in, including VAT. £16,853.10. With the item being what it is, a gearbox, we offer it on a surcharge basis. If you were to return your old one to us, we could offer you a kind of a credit of £3,737.45. All you pay for in the end would be £9,378.20.
With handing in the old gearbox, it would be just a little over £9,000.
Yeah, just £9,378.20.
Perfect, that's great, thank you very much.
That's fine then, talk to you soon then.
Cheers, bye.
10 grand.
10 grand before Porsche touch it. If Porsche touch it, I'm gonna guess at least a day or 2 of time. So you're probably looking at 11 or 12,000 pounds.
That's more than that car's had spent on it.
Double what we paid for the car itself. So the next option is we ring up some specialists and ask them what they would charge to rebuild the gearbox that's in there.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we did, and once we'd called pretty much every specialist we could think of, the verdict was quite bleak.
We've made some calls to some specialists about parts, rebuild parts, how much that's going to cost. It's better.
Yeah, it is better.
But it's still in the thousands.
It's still far too much. Basically, most people we've talked to have said it's anywhere from £4,000 to £7,000 or £8,000. And the reason there's such a big range is that they don't know what needs replacing until the gearbox comes apart. So we thought, surely the things inside can't be that expensive.
They are. The gear sets, like the gears themselves, first, second, third, fourth. So first gear is £420. Second gear, £658. Third, £358. Fourth, £232. Fifth gear, £366. Sixth gear, £318. And reverse, £596. Now that's worst case if all of the gear sets were gone. But the bit that gets really bad, that's not even all of the parts it needs. It needs bearings within each of those gear sets. Each one of those are about £200. So on top of that £2,900, we probably have to spend another £1,500 to £2,000, plus their labour to take it apart, replace them all and put it back together, and you start getting up towards that £7,000 or £8,000 number.
With someone doing it, that is definitely the cheaper route. Because if the other one, you spent 9 grand on the gearbox plus that one, and you had it fitted by Porsche, I don't know, let's call it 13 grand or whatever. This is cheaper by almost 5 grand, but that's still a lot of money.
Still a lot of money.
So the next option is to buy a used gearbox.
Yeah.
Now there are some pitfalls with that. You might buy a bad one. You could buy a used gearbox and then that fails, but this could be a way cheaper route. And we have someone for that. We have Steve. Every single time we had a problem or needed a part, we called him and he'd be like, yeah, I got one of those.
Come on down, mate.
Or he knows someone who's got one of those,
Yeah.
or where to get one of those. There's one in the hedge somewhere in Reading. Yeah. If it's Porsche, if it's 996, he knows it.
Steve is our man.
He's the man for this, I think.
So we headed over to see Steve and find out if we'd be able to get a used gearbox from the 911. But first, we stopped by to visit an old friend.
This car at Steve's is actually the car that gave its life for ours. See those little wires there? This little guy chopped his loom out, stuck them in our car. Not fully successful, you'll hear about that in a bit, but cool to see. Gave its life for ours.
So, as we mentioned before, this is Steve from SW Race Car Hire. Again, we have called him countless times for this 996. Yeah. Have you got this part? Have you got this part? How do we do this? How do we fix that? He has come up trumps every single time. And now, we've got a bigger issue.
Gearbox needs to come apart. The price from Porsche, about £13,000. The price from a specialist, anywhere from 4 to 8, they think, depending on how much needs doing.
Yeah, okay.
So we've come to you to work out how much would a used gearbox set us back.
About £2,000, depending on mileage, but the problem is getting hold of them. I've been searching for a decent one for a year for my track car.
A year?
Yeah. I mean, bearing in mind, I don't like paying a lot of money, so.
Neither do we.
But they are out there, but usually about £2,000. That's for a used one, straight out the car, no LSD, nothing.
Yeah. Right, because our car came with a standard factory fit limited slip diff,
which is
so
rare.
those even harder to find then.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw one of those with a
LSD
diff for sale?
I can't say I've seen one recently. Not that I can remember, but changing the LSD isn't a big deal. So you can get a standard gearbox, put your diff in for not a great deal more money.
Where do you go about finding them?
eBay's probably the best.
You obviously work on these a lot. What sort of book time, or how long does it take you to pull a gearbox, put it back in?
4 or 5 hours, can put it in and out.
So double it and then maybe triple it for us.
Yeah. You're going to need a clutch probably as well while you're in there. Do your up and over brake pipe.
There's lots of while you're in there stuff.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's out.
Yeah.
So like £3,000 plus probably in terms of cost if you do it yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you find a box, bring it over and we'll sort something out.
That's why Steve's the best. If you have a Boxster, a 993, a 996, let Steve know. Steve will help you out of a bad situation.
He will.
Weary.
If you see one for sale,
yep, we'll do. I'll keep an eye out.
You've got our number.
Okay.
Text, call us straight away, middle of the night if it comes up, whatever happens. We need to go and figure out
what we do
what
with
to
this
do.
Back at the unit, it was time to assess our options and decide what to do with this sad little Porsche.
So we're back from Steve's, and he has given us probably the best option yet.
Yeah, he gave us hope, but hope's gone.
It's not good. It's the cheapest option. It's still very expensive, and also we can't just find one. There are no good gearboxes for sale on eBay. You can't find anything.
No, I looked all over Facebook, found one for sale about a year ago for about £2,500.
We did rebuild this car and get it back on the road, but it still has some problems.
A lot of problems.
It has a lot of problems. It's not the nicest thing to use all the time.
The alarm module under the seat has stopped working some point in Germany, which means we have no locks on the doors, no working windows, no working air con. It randomly just turns on and off and drains the electrics.
And the wiring, even though we paid a good amount of money to get the wiring done, we probably didn't do it in the most efficient way possible, which means there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work. Some of the stuff on the gauge cluster doesn't work. Oil pressure?
No.
Max, all the time. Coolant? No idea.
And then you add into the fact that there is still damage on the exterior, paint that is chipping off everywhere, and it needs a full new interior. That's just a given. It needs that. And then finally, it's got a very weird, you could call it a knock from the engine, that's also very worrying.
So with all of those costs considered, and that's a lot of time and work, there's only one conclusion we could really come to, and that's that we've sold it.
We're a YouTube channel, we're not a restoration company. We can't spend months and months and months on the same car because you guys will get bored of it. So yeah, we sold it to someone and they're on their way to come and pick it up now.
And actually, that sounds like them now.
Hiya, just come to pick up my new Porsche. So, that's right, I have bought this car. We did actually consider selling it to someone else, but I couldn't really face it. This is the first car we've ever built together on this channel. I wanted to keep it, and I want to do it properly. I want to do all of the work it needs. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to live again. First things first, the gearbox. I'm going to replace it with a used unit. If you know of a cheap gearbox for a 3.4, let me know, I might be interested. The wing that should be here, I shouldn't be able to put my hand through it, that is up on the top over there. Still the reason that it's not fitted, the little brackets that mount it to the side here are 200 euros a side. I didn't want to pay that, so I need to make some. And speaking of that wing, the black on the here and the black here, that's going to be gotten rid of. We'll stick some white on the top there, get it painted nice. The TDC logos on the side, those are going nowhere. Those are going to stay. Same with the wheels. I might get a different set of wheels, but they're going to stay purple. Inside the car, the new Loom that we had put in, because of all the issues that we're having with it, I'm going to completely gut the entire interior, and I've bought a used Loom off of eBay, and I'm going to re-Loom the entire car. Every single wire is going to be pulled out. I'm going to put a new Loom in it. The interior, as much as it is ready for a track day, it isn't ready to be used day to day. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull all of that out and replace it with some nice original interior, but maybe we'll re-dye it a nice color, maybe something a bit weird. And once all of that's done, I'm just going to use it. I'll bring it to shows, I'll take it on track days. This car will live as the TDC Pig as long as I own it.